Welcome back to episode 214 of the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast. My name is Josh. I'm here with Troy. I'm here with Phil and Louie.
It's a Gongshow Super Show.
All right, boys.
I heard it.
What's going on? You heard it. Button bar fixed. Thank God. We've had a very concert heavy. It's been a musical weekend.
Yes.
Music fills the heart here in Minnesota. We'll get to you, Phil, in a little bit. Don't worry about that. But the three of us, Minnesotans, me, Troy, and Louie, we all went to concerts this weekend. We'll start with you, Troy. Tell us about your adventure at, what was it, Target Field?
Target Field. It was the Lindas, Rancid, Smashing Pumpkins, and Green Day. So here's my quick overview. I'm going to show pictures that I took from my seats. This was the Lindas. I was there with my wife and son, and I immediately, the band introduced themselves, and the drummer was 14 years old. And I looked at my son and said, "What are you doing with your life? Why aren't you up on stage opening for Smashing Pumpkins, Green Day, and Rancid?" And he just looked at me and said, "I don't know." But Lindas were awesome. I'd never heard of them. I mean, tried to listen to them a little bit, but they're great live band. Second band was Rancid. Obviously, their voices are gone, and they sounded a little off, but it is what it is. People only know the two songs unless you're a huge Rancid fan. Time Bomb and Ruby Soho. Most people knew those songs. And then we had Smashing Pumpkins. Billy Corgan sounded good, but his voice isn't what it used to be. But it was awesome, and they only played 10 songs since they were the opener, so you didn't get the full Pumpkins experience, but really good. The new guitarist, Kiki Wong's awesome.
Did they play Disarm?
Yes, they played Disarm.
Okay, good.
They played like the big ones, Zero, Bullet, what? Can't say it. Butterfly Wings. There, we'll say that. And then finally, Green Day, who played Dookie and American Idiot in full, plus other songs. So they had 37 total. What? They went for about 2.5 hours. It was crazy. It was awesome. It was the same opening though that you and I, Josh, saw, where they did Queen and they did Bohemian Rhapsody. They had the crowd singing. The background of the stage was fantastic. That's the Dookie one. And then when they switched over to American Idiot, they had these big, I don't know if they're blow up things or whatever, but hey, Billy Joe keeps rocking. He's like 50 some. I could live without all the call and response constantly to get the
I was just going to talk to you. Swear to God. I was going to say, I love Billy Joe. I love Green Day, but I've seen him like 4 times. He does like 10,000 hey-oh, and, kind of things, and it gets old after a while.
But I mean, he's trying to get the crowd into it now. If people not from Minnesota concerts kind of suck because we're a bunch of like, I don't know, we got to behave ourselves, and you don't get a lot of rowdy people. Where I think if you watch a concert down in like South America, they go ballistic in their energy. Not in Minnesota. I mean, we have energy, but it's more reserved. So but Billy Joe knows that because Minnesota tie-in. His wife's from here.
Yeah,
I think she's either Minneapolis, New Brighton, or something. But besides that, concerts were great. I had a great weekend.
Did you say, Troy? Did you say they covered Bohemian Rhapsody?
No, they just play it. They played it in the
beginning. Oh, okay. I'm like
out to the speakers, and everyone gets going, and
I think that's one of those songs you're not allowed to cover. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How long were you there for?
Oh, gates opened at 4. Concert started at 5:30. We went to a pinball bar beforehand with my son and played pinball and had lunch. Got into the stadium about 4:30ish and walked out, or we're in our house at 12:45 a.m. So it was a long day. And then, unfortunately, our hedgehog passed away last night we got a call from our daughter that the hedgehog did not survive. So it was like 4 years old, and they live 4 to 6, but that was kind of a bummer. But
sorry to hear, buddy.
Yeah. Poor hedgehog. Poison ivy. Yeah, poison ivy.
You didn't name it Sonic?
No. We're very comic book character here with Harley Quinn as one of our dogs. Oswald Cobblepot is our other dog.
I hear you. Well, that was Saturday night.
Yep.
On Friday night, Baba Louie and we went to a concert too. You went to the Twin Stadium, Target Field.
Yep.
Where did we go, Baba Louie?
U.S. Bank Stadium.
Home of the Minnesota Vikings, and we saw Metallica. Now, they had a band open for them called Mammoth, who I really enjoyed. And then, Louie, you were pretty pumped. about the, I guess, bigger opening act, which was?
Pantera.
Yeah. I'm old. I kind of thought it was noise. Does that make me lame?
That's just, when you're at concerts like that, if you don't know the songs,
Yeah.
you really don't know what they're saying.
I like
Especially
melody, and there wasn't a lot of melody. It was just more like banging and
You're old.
and stuff.
You're
Phil,
old,
are
bud.
you a Pantera fan?
I'm not per se. I hear it in the gym a lot, but I don't know many of their songs. I like Metallica, just like the next guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, this was a bucket list event for Louis to see Metallica. So, Louis, give us your Metallica review.
Oh yeah. No, dude, it was awesome. I loved every second of it. I was just awestruck the whole time listening to it. It was so fun.
Did they play The Memory Remains? That's one of my favorite songs. I never
No.
get. No.
No,
I like
but
that.
they have 2 sets, so they do 2 different nights while they're here, and they have 2 different set lists. And I don't know if that'll be on the next night or not.
Okay.
But
Did
That
you
doesn't
say-
happen. It's happening tonight. We're recording on Sunday. It's happening tonight. So Sunday night is their second show. So like 70,000 people, Phil. This set was bonkers.
Whoa, 70,000?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's that's crazy. That's huge. I couldn't even imagine what that's like.
If you're watching on YouTube, the stage is massive. Like they are so far apart from each other. It's kind of cool. They made this like huge circle that takes the whole width of the Vikings football field to be able to interact with the crowd from a 360 perspective. And then what you can see is parts of, I think, 4. They had 8 towers that were massive. They were huge. I can't even imagine how many millions of dollars this set was, but it was really, really incredible. And the band sounded great, huh, Louis?
oh
James
yeah, it was good.
Well, that's how these bands make money now, right? It's not off of CDs and albums. It's from touring.
Yeah.
Right. So invest.
I don't
back
think
in
there's
it.
any music or any money in albums anymore.
No.
Well, then we had people from our Discord. There's a casino called Treasure Island here where Creed was here this weekend, and then Hosier was also at XL where the Wild play last night or tonight, something like that.
That's he's one of my absolute favorite artists. Top 10 of all time. Hoser. That's awesome.
Three
I
Doors
would've gone to see
Down
him.
was here too yesterday, I think.
All
Right?
right.
Was that with Creed?
They opened for Creed.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
tomorrow is, and this isn't like these people come through every 4 months. It's Def Leppard, Journey, and another one. Def Leppard is always here. I swear they're every 6 months they show up, but it's like it's one of the biggest music concert event weekends ever in the Twin Cities. It's nuts how many
Nice.
people
Sounds like a good
coming
time.
through. Yeah.
Well, there's our music podcast
Yep.
for the day. Yeah, it was a fun weekend. Had a great time. Good for our community to have a bunch of events like this. Like, last thing I mentioned is that Pantera and a couple of guys from Metallica played a surprise show at First Avenue, which was, of course, made famous by Prince, one of the most iconic music venues there is in downtown Minneapolis on Friday night, too. So the whole area is a buzz. And what about you, Phil? What concert did you go to this weekend?
Concert of laundry and cutting the grass.
Loser.
Yeah, pretty tame. I did go to Canada's Wonderland during the week with Hasselhoff, my brother, and Hasselhoff's mom. So that was fun. Yeah, we just went for a couple of days and ripped back to Ottawa, and yeah.
Canada's Wonderland, is that like a Six Flags or Cedar
I
Point?
think it's no, Six Flags is La Ronde in Montreal. I might be getting that wrong. I know it's one of the 2 big ones, but Wonderland was great. Very, very expensive. Almost $1,500 for 2 days.
It's like roller coasters, right? Is that what
Yeah.
it is?
We like I really like roller coasters. I love them.
Oh.
So does my brother, and we didn't know if Hasselhoff would like them, and he loved them. So it was good.
Nice.
Yeah, it worked out really well.
So you're the kid that wanted to go to the theme park, and you drug your kid along, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I even brought his mother along, which is crazy, but we all get along, right? You only live once. Civil discourse, and yeah, we had a great time. It was lots of fun. I got them their own room. My brother and I had our own hotel room, and it was easy going.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna try something. I hope fun today. I think it'll be fun. Something very different from us. I don't know what to call it. Maybe a treat or a bonus for our most loyal followers, our Patreon supporters, people that support the show. Stay tuned, because after the show, we're going to be launching or posting, I don't know what to call it, our very first after party episode that's exclusive to the Hockey Cards Gongshow Discord server and our Patreons and our patrons. It's a very new, there's no plan like anything we've ever done. And it's going to be a little bit of a different vibe. The whole thing is off the cuff. This show is very structured that we do, and we've all expressed at times how it would be fun at certain points just to let loose a little bit and have some conversation. So I think this is going to be our opportunity to do that. And so if you are a supporter of our show, we definitely encourage you to check it out, give us feedback, and we hope you enjoy it. And if you're wondering, well, how do I support this circus? And how do I see the after party? Well, it's very easy because our podcast, the Hockey Cards Gongshow, is a Patreon podcast, which means we rely on supportive listeners like yourself to help us cover show expenses, to produce more and hopefully better hockey card content like the after party and fund initiatives, even in a small way to grow the hockey hobby. It's very easy to support us. You can do it, or it costs as little as $5 a month. It is in conjunction with Patreon. In order to sign up, you can go to our website, hockeycardsgongshow.com, click on a Become a Patron link, go to the Patreon website, patreon.com, and search for Hockey Cards Gongshow. There's a link in the show description if you're watching us on YouTube or listening to us on Apple or Spotify or another podcast app. And then finally, in our Instagram and TikTok profiles, there is a link there too. We're blessed. For the second show in a row, we have 3 new patrons, which is really awesome. So I want to say a special thank you to Luke Ladd 17, Hockey DT, and D-Lo out of 199. Or all 3 joined our out of 199 support level tier.
Put a couple of dumb Minnesotans behind a mic, sprinkle in a crazy Canadian, and it's a Gong Show Super Show.
There's the gong. We got a lot of people that for our last episode that were sending us, Troy, I don't know if you saw it, they're sending us Amazon listings to buy gongs. Like, I don't think we're going to do that. But you ready with the game plan, bud?
I am. I'm in a whole other world because I can hear it now. And I'm using this audio's going through my DAC, which is really nice. And I got my good headphones on. It's like a whole other world.
Nice. Good for you.
All right, here we go. On today's show, we begin with the almost greatest NHL player to wear number 14. Then it's off to another installment of Hobby Mount Rushmore, this time looking at Phil's Ottawa Senators. Then we look at hobby news. Next is a segment where we look and try to rank hockey card 101s. Now, Josh, I'm imagining the hate mail, the feedback we are going to get on this.
Yep.
And I already know we will miss an obvious one. So,
yep.
So we are fully aware that we are going to maybe blow one of these.
Crash and burn on the Hockey Cards Gongshow today.
We'll see. It'll be fun, though. We'll have a good time. We follow that up with new product releases, and then we end the show with the Gongshow Mailbag and any personal pickups. Okay, fellas, previously we looked at the greatest NHL player that wore the number that matched our episode number. We ran through all the numbers, so now we are looking at the almost greatest NHL player to wear each number from the runners-up in the Hockey Writers' greatest NHL player to wear each number article. The almost greatest NHL player to wear number 14 for the nominees in the Hockey Writers' greatest NHL player to each number article, and selected by me is this fella, Dave Keon, Toronto Maple Leafs legend. Phil, are you hanging up, signing off, or are you going to stick through Dave Keon?
No, I respect Keon.
Okay.
Who was first? Shanahan, I'm assuming, eh?
Yes.
Brendan Shanahan, yeah.
The
I like Dave Keon more than Brendan Shanahan.
Yeah. So the other runners up at 14 were Jamie Benn. I will never put him on any list. And Justin Williams. As a reminder, the greatest to wear number 14 was, as Phil said, Brendan Shanahan. Now, Jamie Benn is just because, I don't know. I don't like him. So, had a great career. I just don't like him.
What about Theron Fleury?
I think he wasn't on the list. So,
No.
I feel sometimes they need to have another sit down with this list, the Hockey Writers, and give it a good refreshing. I feel they only do it every once in a while when they feel like someone decides to go look at it.
It's easy.
You never mentioned though that the list was last updated in 1981.
2023. No, I think they did do an update in 2024. They never tell you what they updated. They probably just changed something, like one word, one name or something, but whatever. Okay, Dave Keon, center from Noranda, Quebec, Canada.
Have you been there, Phil?
No. Miranda.
Is it still a city? Like half the time I read these Canadian cities of these old players, and it's like it has been incorporated into Toronto. Or,
Yeah, it's
like,
amalgamated into something for sure. Yeah.
like eminent or not eminent domain. What do they call it? Annexed. Like a lot of that in the U.S. It's called annexed when they take them over. All right.
Can I suggest
Yes.
something to the wonderfully beautiful people of Quebec? So instead of Noranda, Noranda, why not call it Noranda? Because then you could say I live in Noranda, Canada. Okay, I'll stop.
Go ahead, Troy.
I'm guessing Noranda's probably maybe French for something. Who knows? All right. Dave Keon debuted with the Toronto Maple Leafs during the 1960-61 season. Before joining the Maple Leafs, Keon played junior hockey in Toronto for the St. Michael's Buzzers of the Ontario Hockey Association Metro Junior B League in 1956-57. He would then go on to play with the Junior A St. Michael's Majors. Keon played for the St. Michael's through the end of the 1960 season when he turned professional and joined the Sudbury Wolves of the Eastern Professional Hockey League for 4 playoff games. All right, Keon played in 1,296 regular season NHL games over an 18-season NHL career. Keon played his first 15 seasons in the NHL with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Then things get a little wild, a little off the rails with Keon. We will go into more of that in the fun, interesting facts segment. But Keon would then go on to play his next 4 professional hockey seasons in the WHA, spending time with Josh, the Minnesota Fighting Saints, Indianapolis Racers, and the New England Whalers. He would then return to the NHL and play in his final 3 seasons with the Hartford Whalers. We will go into that, though, what happened in a little bit.
Wait, Troy, is the Indiana Racers, is that the Gretzky team?
I think that's the Gretzky team that he played for.
Before going to the Oilers, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. For awards and accomplishments, Dave Keon is a Hall of Famer, 4-time Stanley Cup winner, 1961 Calder winner, 2-time Lady Byng, 1-time Conn Smythe, 2-time NHL second All-Star team selection, 8-time NHL All-Star game participant, named to the NHL's top 100 players to ever play the game in 2017. His number 14 is retired by the Toronto Maple Leafs, and it was retired on October 15th of 2016. Also on October 14th, 2016, the Toronto Maple Leafs released their list of top 100 Leafs of all time based on the votes of fans and a 31-member expert panel. Keon was voted the greatest Toronto Maple Leaf of all time.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess that surprised me, but I don't know. I don't know Toronto Maple Leafs history. So
they don't have much of one. So
geez, here. I was going to ask, were you on this 31-member expert?
Shots fired.
Can you something for me though, Phil, really quick?
Yeah.
So why do you respect Dave Keon and like not your boy AM34?
Yeah, that's a good question, Josh. I respect my elders. So I guess maybe Matthews is younger than me, so he's a bit of a punk. You know, get off my lawn, you little punk. And then Dave Keon's like, sorry, sir, I apologize for the team that you were on, but I respect your hockey abilities.
Okay.
Yeah.
Accepted.
Awesome. Accepted. Best season or best regular season of Keon's NHL career from a point standpoint was his 1970-71 season, where Keon had 38 goals, 38 assists for 76 points. Keon, while small at 5'9", was known as a tremendous skater with terrific speed. He was also a terrific on the faceoff and was an outstanding passer. In addition, he was tenacious forechecker and one of the best penalty killers in the league. Keon was also known as a player who gave his full effort every game and never took a shift off. In the words of Gordie Howe, when asked about Dave Keon, all he said was Dave Keon could do it all.
This is you winning the photo game here, Troy.
I love this picture. Because I'm assuming that's Dryden, isn't it? 29. I think that's Montreal.
Look at the chops on him too, eh?
Yeah.
The 70s is really accentuated in the NHL, I find.
Yeah.
They really embraced it.
Yeah, fully embraced. Like, just great picture, great action image. Okay. No, that's the wrong picture. Here we go. After retiring from the NHL, Keon would move to Florida, where he worked in real estate. We will get into this in a minute, but Keon was rightfully bitter about how he was treated by Toronto management and especially owner Harold Ballard. Keon turned down several offers of reconciliation from the team. Even under new ownership, Keon would go on to say that new ownership is no different than Ballard, and he had no use for them. However, tensions did ease a little bit in January 2007. The Maple Leafs announced that Keon would attend a pregame ceremony to honor its 1967 Stanley Cup winning team. Then on February 16th, 2013, Keon was part of a pregame ceremony honoring the 1963 Stanley Cup winning Leafs. He similarly appeared on February 8th, 2014, with other members of the 1964 Cup winners. Again, give me a minute and we'll explain what happened with all that. So fun, interesting facts for our boy. Keon won the 1962 Lady Byng Award, taking only one minor penalty during the season. Fantastic. Good for him. Don't hurt your team. Keon won the 1967 Conn Smythe Award. During the 1967 playoffs, Keon had only 8 points, and this is the fewest ever by a non-goalie Conn Smythe winner. He is the only Maple Leaf to have ever won the award, which is named after a Toronto Maple Leaf.
But yet he's the best Toronto Maple Leaf of all time. Come on.
Well, I think that you know what? I actually dig the Conn Smythe Award. I think because the playoff MVP, they actually gave it to him for basically shutting down the Canadians and their best player. I don't know if it was Richard or who.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
And it's like, I feel like maybe this award back then, they don't just look at the stat sheet and be like, okay, he had the most click MVP. Like there's a whole other element to the game, which I think it's lost now in all voting. But it's kind of interesting. Okay, let's get to the big question. Let's look how Keon went from the NHL to the WHA and then back to the NHL. So early into the 74-75 season, Maple Leafs owner Harold Ballard publicly blasted Keon, saying that the team was not getting good leadership from its captain and vowing never again to agree to a no trade clause in a contract as he had with Keon. When Keon's contract expired at the end of the season, Ballard made it clear that there was no place for him on the Leafs. The Leafs believed they had some strong young prospects at center who needed more ice time, and Keon was asking for a contract with a no-trade clause. 35-year-old Keon was told that he could make his own deal with another NHL team, but any club signing him would be required to provide compensation to the Leafs. It was like a wild time back then. Holy cow. Ballard set the compensation price so high that other teams shied away from signing him, even though the Leafs had no intention of keeping him. In effect, Ballard had blocked Keon from going to another NHL team. Keon would then go to play in the WHA for the next 4 seasons. He wound up at the end with the New England Whalers, who in 1979 were one of the 4 WHA teams to join the NHL. Thus, Keon was now back in the NHL with the now renamed Hartford Whalers. And I guess Toronto could have fought it. That I think they were saying that the NHL rights, since they were still held by Toronto, they could have went after him from coming back in the WHA, even though they were a team that brought into the NHL, but they never did. But you can see where you kind of got the animosity. It's not good being publicly called out and you're a legend, and they're like, we don't need you anymore. And it's not like he was playing. He had a couple bad seasons here and there, but he played well his whole career. It's not like he was at the end of his career and not scoring any points. Finally, in 2018, Keon was awarded the Order of Sport and inducted into Canada's Sports Hall of Fame. Now, Josh and Phil, I don't know what the Order of Sport is, so I looked it up. National level award established in 2019 by Canada's Sports Hall of Fame. It is awarded alongside induction into Canada's Sports Hall of Fame and regarded as Canada's highest sporting honor. There you go, Phil. Do you know that?
No, I still don't kind of get it. So you get into the Canadian hockey or the Canadian Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And then you could be with 5 people that go into the Hall of Fame, but only 2 of them get the award.
I think all of them I think you get the Order of Sport, and that automatically puts you in the Hall of Fame.
Sounds like a tax write-off for it.
Have you been to the Canada Sports Hall of Fame, Phil?
In Toronto, yeah. I've only been once.
Okay.
Oh, no, not that's the Hockey Hall of Fame.
You've been to the NHL or the Hockey
I thought that was the Canadian Hockey Hall of Fame. Or no, I haven't been. I'm a bad patriot. Yeah.
All right. Keon's rookie card. Great rookie card. 1961 Parkhurst, number 5. PSA 10 has a pop of 1 with a gem rate of 0.3%. I think
Wow.
that's a couple times in the last couple shows we've had a 0.3% gem rate. The grade with the highest number of cards at PSA is the PSA 8 grade, which has 72 graded copies. Most recent sale of any graded copy of this card was a PSA 3 that sold via eBay, verified at Terapeak, for $331.99 on July 24th of this year. A PSA 8 copy of this card did sell via eBay, verified at Terapeak, on June 2nd, 2024, for $1,749.99 US. I want the PSA 10 copy to go up because I want to see how, or go for sale. I want to see how much it'd go for. Probably 5 figures, maybe low 5 figures.
There's an 8 on the screen right now. It looks fantastic.
Yeah,
That's a great
really
8. That looked great. $1,000 for that? Heck yes.
Oh, I think
yeah.
the one PSA 10 Dave Keon, if you brought that to the expo, you're getting mid 5 figures for that card.
You
like
think
50
so?
grand. Oh,
50K? Yeah.
The greatest Maple Leaf?
Yeah, you could probably get like 3 or 4 guys trying to one up their egos. Yeah, if you played that right, I agree with you. Yeah.
All right, Troy, great job. I learned a lot about Dave Keon. A lot of good nuggets there, but it's time, boys. For our third,
Let's do it.
It's time. Been waiting for this one. It's our third installment of our team by team series where we're nominating the Hobby Mount Rushmore for every NHL team, and it's a big one for Phil. We're going to take a look today at the Ottawa Senators, which is Phil's favorite team. You excited, Phil?
I'm very excited.
Are you nervous or scared?
You guys should be nervous or scared. I'm very confident.
Okay.
Yeah.
All your Senators friends are going to judge you, Phil, if we mess this up.
It's been a tough week. It's been a tough week on the DMs.
Josh,
yes.
I totally just thought of this. We should have went through this whole segment, and every time Phil spoke, mute him. And then, at the end of the segment, okay, thanks, Phil, and like no one would have heard it. I thought that would have been funny, but it would have got too old after there's a 5-minute you rant that's just dead silence on the
you got to
replaced it with like Austin Matthews every time you said something.
Reel me back in if I get going. Reel me back in, Josh. Okay.
No, replace it with Maple Leaf highlights playing.
No, these are all terrible ideas. They're terrible ideas.
Now, Phil has not seen this list.
No,
this is we purposefully hid this for him. It's a surprise, and we're gonna have to see. We came up with what we think is the Hobby Mount Rushmore for the Ottawa Senators, and Phil, your name's attached to the show now, so it's on you, and you could have another rough week in the DMs. We'll have to see. As a reminder, our Hobby Mount Rushmore series is where we're picking the 4 most deserved, in our opinion, players from each team to preside on the Hobby Mount Rushmore. We factor in their statistics, their achievements, the legacy to the franchise and the city, and then, of course, the hobby relevancy to that team. So far, we've tackled the Montreal Canadiens. That was super easy. Then we did the Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers, and now we're ready to roll with Phil's Ottawa Senators. So here we go. First pick, no-brainer. We had to go with Daniel Alfredsson.
Oh, hold on.
You on board, Phil?
Yeah, you guys. Things are okay so far. Very copacetic.
Okay. All right. Alfredsson is the Senators' all-time leader in goals with 426. He's the all-time franchise leader in points as well with 1,108 and is the only Senators player to produce 1,000 points with the team. But he's not the franchise's all-time leader in games played, Phil. No, he cannot claim that title. You see, Alfredsson played in 1,178 games with your team, one less game than...
One less game.
Who?
Chris Phillips.
Chris Phillips.
Yeah.
You're right. That's crazy. Come on, man. Come on, Daniel. Lace him up, buddy. Let's go. 2 games. You got
Hasselhoff and I saw Chris Phillips leaving Canadian Tire this summer. Oh, he's a big lad. He's like a walking tuba, and I feel bad, but he has lost some weight and he's getting back into it. But I love you, Chris Phillips. If you ever listen to this episode, you probably won't. But yeah,
I forgot to mention too. We should probably say this. This is the 93 version, or is that when did Ottawa come through? Like come into back
92, 93 inaugural.
92, 93 Ottawa Senators on. So someone's gonna like say, what about the 1911?
That's okay. I'm the perfect age. I'm the guy you need for this. Or
I forgot to mention that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I thought you were talking about the logo. You've had like 94 versions of your logo, so I didn't know which one I just picked. This might be one from like 1984. I don't know.
We circled back, so we're back to the original 2D.
Yeah.
It's the best one.
Oh,
Yeah, so we
okay.
started 92, 93. Now we circled full back to the little minor changes. I need Hasselhoff, but I think he's sleeping.
Alfredson spent 17 seasons in Ottawa, but then was traded to Detroit for his last year in 2013-14. Were you disappointed by that? That he couldn't?
I was crushed. I
Yeah,
just
was that to give him a
absolutely-
cup run? Is that what? Like
No, that way it got
Oh, it's
weird,
just-
man, because it was between Murray and Brian Murray, and I love Brian Murray, but at the trade deadline, it was like they were talking about, I'll come back if you get something good, so the team can do better. And then then Alfredson missed a phone call from Murray, and then it got really weird. And then Brian's like, "Oh, I guess he doesn't want to play." So Brian filed some paperwork or something, not indicating something improper, and then Alfredson found out from his agent, and then it's okay, fine, call Detroit back. It was really unfortunate. I just block it from my memory.
Well, he won the Calder Trophy with your Senators in 1996. The only Ottawa Senator to ever win the Calder. Alfredson was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2022. He's only one of 4 players to ever play for the Senators in the Hall of Fame. Do you know who the other 3 are, Phil?
Wow, that's a good question. Well, it's definitely not Brad Marsh. No, to keep the show going. Go, let me know.
2 goalies and a skater.
Oh, well, Hasek.
Yeah.
One goalie's American.
2 goalies American. So
one goalie's American. So you got Hasek. The other one's an American.
Wouldn't be Tom Barrasso.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it is
just
Tom
got in.
Barrasso's in the Hall of Fame? Wow.
Yeah, he just got in. And then Marian Hossa.
I love
the other
Hossa.
one.
I know.
Alfredson's number 11 was retired by the franchise. His jersey is only one of 4 to be retired by the Senators, Phil. Who are the other 3 players?
Oh my goodness. So Frank Finnegan. Frank Finnegan, that's all I got right now.
You're a
I'll give you
bad
another
Senators
hint.
fan, man.
Yeah, I know.
We just saw him at Canadian Tire.
Oh, you mean retired our okay, so Chris Neal, Chris Phillips, yes, Daniel Alfredson, and Mike Fisher.
You already mentioned him. Frank
Just
Finnegan. Yeah.
Frank Finnegan.
Oh, Finnegan. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, Alfredson also won the King Clancy in 2012 and the Mark Messier Leadership Award in 2013. He was a one-time NHL second team All-Star. And okay, Phil, so I'm going to give you a little bit on these guys the floor. So in like 2 minutes or so, tell the hobby why Daniel Alfredson is so beloved in Ottawa fandom.
We're great now?
Yeah.
Because he's a stud. He got drafted so late in the rounds. He worked hard. He came up organically. His legs were tree trunks, and that was never seen before, from what I've heard. And he was so big on fitness, so big on athleticism. He led by example. He was what we needed. He came into the league in 94, 95. We were already the worst team in NHL history. For 3 years, we were losing every game all the time. And Alfredson gave us hope. He was a beacon of light. When Yashin, I believe Yashin came a year before him, he was such a quiet guy. They were both quiet guys, but Alfredson just had this, when he walked into a room, you listened. Yashin didn't have that. And Alfredson was just so unassuming. He just rocked it out. And then when he won the Calder, it was so unexpected. We're like, who is this guy? Came back next year, had the crazy hockey hair. Yeah, man, he was just a stud. He gave hope, and he wasn't a big guy. He just worked really, really hard. And once we got Jacques Martin and him really clicked. And
Okay.
it's all sure out, yeah.
Good overview. Not a huge hobby market for Alfredson, though. You probably own most of his cards.
Yeah.
1,077 Daniel Alfredson cards have sold on the secondary markets to date in 2024, according to Card Ladder. That includes 2 sales of more than 500 US. The all-time high sale for an Alfie card is the 1997 Pinnacle Zenith Z Gold out of 100 Raw that sold for $1,100 US in September 2022. These cards go for big dough.
Yeah, well, that wasn't me.
Easy. Yeah. All right, that's one. So we're in alignment. We did good on the first one, Phil.
Of course, that's perfect.
All right, now we're on to number 2, Troy. We put Jason Spezza on the Ottawa Senators Hobby Mount Rushmore. When you're known for being on the pizza line, I think that gives you a leg up in my book for the Hobby Mount Rushmore. Being second in goals and points all time for the Senators helps too. Spezza scored 251 goals, added 426 assists for 687 points with the franchise. He spent 11 seasons in the Canadian capital city. not a lot of stats or awards from beyond that, right? But it seems like he didn't win a Hart Trophy or anything like that. But it seems like, though, and you tell me if I'm wrong, Phil, that he was kind of a fan favorite, very likable guy.
Yin and yang, whipping boy and fan favorite. It was very tough. We loved him, but we hated him at the same time, right? Yeah.
So why, in your mind, is he deserve it to be on the Hobby Mount Rushmore?
Well, he's second in points. If
Yep.
Even though Alfredson almost doubles him, he was probably our first quote unquote superstar. I know Yashin and we had Sylvain Turgeon and Alfred, but there was something about Spezza when the Islanders drafted him. He made big buzz. He had a big buzz in OHL. I think, was he Brandon Wheat Kings? I'm pretty sure he was. Or no, he was a Pete. I'm not sure. He was a Wheat King or a Pete. And he just, I don't know, man. He ate, breathed, brothed, I don't know, bled hockey. And his dad is crazy. You want to know who the biggest Jason Spezza fan of hockey collector of cards? His dad. His dad is the biggest Jason Spezza collection. Yeah, he would always hang out at the card store in Ottawa. It was great, man. So that's just a big hockey family. Cool name, Jason Spezza. I don't know. Yeah. I think that's got to count for something. He was tall. He was goofy. He was friendly. Very likable on camera. Always had a lot to say. I think he'll make a great coach or a great management.
Okay.
Yeah.
Small hobby market, though. So I think that for the Hobby Mount Rushmore, it probably makes him the most tenuous of all of our picks on the Mount Rushmore. 619 Spezza cards have sold on the secondary market so far this year, 3 of which were for more than 500 US. All-time high sale for a Jason Spezza card is the 2002-03 Premier RPA out of 99 that sold for $1,325 in December of 2005. That sale in 2005 must have been like, like we have these people that went bonkers on a Bedard card here and there, like spent like 30 grand on some random SB game use card. The hobby probably didn't have the data for everyone to know this, or there wasn't social media in 05, but the hobby would have lost its mind with that sale.
That card's still for sale on eBay for $2,000 and no one's buying it.
Oh, really?
I think it's 1,100 or something.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Crazy. All right, that's 2. We have Daniel Alfredson, Jason Spezza. The third one, even though Troy's bitter at him because he doesn't play defense so much, the offensive numbers and decent hobby chase make Erik Karlsson, in my opinion, a Senators Hobby Mount Rushmore no-brainer. Are you in agreement, Phil?
Absolute no-brainer. And I want to say something about the Spezza cards. He has a very strong following. Like, I will never get rid of certain Spezza cards I have. You're never going to get those patch cards. And his very high-end cards are very high-end, very crisp. Those early 2000s. He's got some of the nicest Future Watch cards out there of all time. Best Young Guns of all time. That series, 03-04.
It's a good reminder that the secondary market is not all-inclusive of a player's hobby. It's just the only trackable and independently verifiable that can, but so many deals happen in person, happen at card shows, happen on Facebook Marketplace, wherever. So good reminder there. Karlsson, Phil, played 9 seasons with your team, 3rd all-time in franchise points behind Alfredson and Spezza, had seasons with 78, 74, 66, and 82 points for the Senators, which is pretty good for a guy from the blue line. 2-time Norris Trophy winner with the Senators in 2012 and 2015. 4-time NHL First Team All-Star. Now, Phil, convince Troy, the known Karlsson hater, why he deserves this spot.
Of course he deserves this spot, Troy. What's the matter with you? He's 3rd in all-time scoring. I'm going by memory, so if I'm wrong, just correct me. Yeah. But 3rd in all-time scoring, all-time. He's got more assists than goals, which is what you want a defenseman to have. He doesn't even have 150 goals, if I'm pretty sure. So most of that is assists. He's no one has confidence and can back it up like him. He bought his own plane ticket when he was told not to play when he got hurt. He bought his own plane ticket and flew in and won us a playoff game 6 years ago. He is an absolute stud. Yes, of course, he could have played defense a little better, or he could have been a little more defensive minded, I would say. But he was a best skater in the entire league, top 3 every year he played, and he got back every time. He also is top 3 best goals in the NHL of all time with Hoffman, and they didn't even like each other. So, yeah, Karlsson's an absolute monster, and you have to put him for the hobby because his cards went, when the cup came out, his cards went for pretty big bucks in 09, 10, 11, 12. I even resold one of his RPAs in like 2014 for like $550.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's a big hobby chase. Also, I've gotten rid of a good chunk of my Carlsons, but I've kept the main pillars.
Okay. Well, 1,997 Carlson cards have sold on the secondary markets year to date, including one for more than 500 US. All-time high sale for a Carlson card is at 0910, the Cup RPA at a 299 or 249, PSA 10 sold for $2,500 in August of 2023.
Wow, that must be a huge Carlson PC guy. Yeah,
it's a nice patch, a nice looking card. Of course,
I have a nicer one.
Humble brag. Okay. So let's recap. Alfredson, Spezza, Erik Karlsson. Now this next one, Phil, and if you got time to right, Troy, because we gotta. I'm not doing this to butter you up, but remember, this is the hobby Mount Rushmore, and when you look at it, the other candidates that have put up better numbers for the franchise, their hobby interest and chase, Phil, is not even close to that of. I went with Brady Tkachuk here.
Oh my God. No, okay, go ahead.
You thought Chris Phillips was coming, didn't you?
No, you guys can pick anyone you want. There's one person that is. You just be very careful. Get your swords ready, boys.
I know who it is.
We'll get to that.
I know who it is. It's
There's nothing to get to.
But okay, I got to make the case for Tkachuk now because it's not super straightforward. And I go back to again, we have to underline that this is a hobby Mount Rushmore. The only guy that might have had like a better case, and we'll get to his numbers, is actually Heater. I mean, he numbers wise, it has better numbers than Tkachuk, but we'll get to that in a second. So yeah, Brady Tkachuk is on the official Gongshow Senators hobby Mount Rushmore. It means absolutely nothing in real life, Phil, but this has to be a super emotional moment for you. If you heave cry, I just want you to know it might help our ratings. And don't let Troy down. Start crying right now, please. And if you could like look in the camera for a solid 15 seconds so we could clip it, that'd be great.
I think Tkachuk's a great choice. He is my fourth choice as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna explain to you why, and then we'll give you the floor and see if you agree or disagree. And I gotta start by saying there's an admitted element of futuring here. Right? There's a little bit of projection, but I do think the youngest Tkachuk does deserve it. He's just 24 years old. Already has 6 seasons under his belt, though, in his Senators career. He's got the Tkachuk namesake. That doesn't hurt. And he's coming off 3 consecutive 30-goal seasons, which is a good sign production-wise. Already 9th in all-time points for the franchise. He's 7th in goals, but here's the thing. I don't know if you even know this, Phil.
I didn't know that.
If he has another 30-goal season this year, he will move up to 4th all-time in franchise goals.
Wow, that's great, Josh. Good investigative reporting. I love you, buddy.
Yeah,
that's
fantastic. So he's on the doorstep of, I think, having, moving up the ladder as far as all-time franchise records go. The biggest question mark, though, in all of this is, I should say too before that. Sorry. He was named Senators captain in November 2021 at just 22 years old, the youngest captain in Sens history. But the biggest question, of course, is when will he get traded to the Rangers?
Oh, my God. The biggest question is how great is he going to do in the playoffs when we make it? And that's when everybody's going to want my Tkachuk cards and nobody's going to get them. Well, you might get a couple. But...
I was just kidding with that, Phil.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, the real big question is when will he get traded to the Islanders?
It's so frustrating, all the trade rumors. But that's okay. I know my team. He's not going anywhere. It's not going. So, Josh, can I ask you, did he beat Mark Stone in the points? Because I know Mark Stone's in the top 10. So you said Tkachuk's 9th?
Well, he's 9th in points.
Stone's 11th.
Yeah,
okay, yeah. Wow, look at Brady go. He's so unassuming with the points that he gets. It's very. I like him for all the other intangible reasons. Putting points up, that's amazing, man. Another 30 goal. Phenomenal.
Okay, the 100% real this time. Big question is, can he and will he lead his team out of the doldrums and into a consistent playoffs team that has a chance to do damage? How confident are you of that, Phil?
I'm very confident. We got Jensen, we got Perron, we got older, so we have a second and third Giroux in age-wise and demographic. Noah Gregor's coming on board. Things are going to be good. Tyler Cleven's going to crack the defense. Tkachuk's going to have that feeling of daddy, and he's going to just hit a hammer this year, and things are going to be good, man. Things are good. He's got that Kachuk blue blood leadership. It's there. Yeah.
So even just at 24 with only 6 seasons, why do you think he deserves to be on the Senators Mount Rushmore?
Oh, yes. Back to our segment. So this is the thing. This is when it comes to hobby, because he's still he's not a heavy chase, but people still like him. He's still medium. What's the word I'm looking for? He's not a low grade card, right? No one's going to pull a Kachuk and think like, oh, who cares? Everybody knows who Brady is. He hasn't gotten any brass yet. So that's why, and he's so fresh. I think it absolutely matters. If he's 9th on the all-time Sens point list and he's on cards that people are still after that aren't Senators fans, he absolutely has to be on the Mount Rushmore. Yeah. That's how I look at it, right? My 5th pick is very similar to him. If not, they could be interchangeable.
Okay, well, we'll get to that in a minute. So are you trying to say that he's kind of like Burger King? Everyone knows what it is, but nobody really goes there?
I love Burger King. No one goes to Burger King in America?
No, they're kind of, the ones by us are kind of, I mean, they've
kind of
remodeled them, but they're always kind of dumps.
Oh, really? I used to get 4
pothole in the drive-through and everything.
I used to get 4 Junior Whoppers, no pickle all the time.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so good.
Well, 3,110 Brady Kachuk cards have sold on the public secondary markets year to date. Not a huge amount, like we've been talking about, but way more than the first 3 Mount Rushmore candidates. 5 of those sales were for $500 US or more. In all honesty, Phil, how many Kachuk cards have you bought this year for more than $500?
Oh, probably all of them. Well, one of my weekly pickups, a Kachuk card that was over 500.
Yeah, there we go. His 2018 Young Guns PSA 10 is a pop 841, last sold for $102 US on August 10th, flat over the past month, down 1.5% in the past 6 months, so fairly steady. And then the all-time high public sale for a Brady Kachuk card is his 2018-19 The Cup Black Foil Shield Auto 101 that sold for $1,837 US in February 2021. There's no eBay picture for that card, otherwise I'd show it. So Phil, can you just show the audience your card?
No, I don't. My friend Emmanuel, he's about 15 kilometers that way. The card is, yeah.
Shout out to Emmanuel.
Yeah. There's 2 or 3 of us, me, Emmanuel, and Donnie. There's 3 of us in Ottawa. We're all pretty similar in our collections.
Okay, last moment of hobby honesty here. So the all-time high sale, $1,837 US. Have you spent more than that on a Kachuk card?
Of course, yeah. I spent more than that on his exclusive PSA 10s alone, and I own all of them. Thank you. Yeah, I have the full. I own 10% of the market of his Art Cup RPAs.
Oh my gosh, dude! All right. Okay, so that's our hobby Mount Rushmore. We had Alfredson, Spezza, Carlson, and Kachuk. I want to really quickly go through some other candidates and just get your opinion on those. Like, these are guys that we could probably the next guy to go on would have been, in my mind, Craig Anderson.
Yeah, see, like, I disagree with you, and I'm a huge Craig Anderson fan. He played 10 years for us. 10 years. He's got no good cards. He's not a chase, and I love the guy. I would have put Stutzel as 5th.
Oh, we'll get there. So Anderson, I left him off because of hobby market, but he does have like the all-time records for the franchise in games played, wins as a goalie, and a 2.84 goals against and a .914 save percentage.
And poise.
Then we got to be honest here, Phil. Heater, baby, yeah. See, now here's where I wish I could do like Austin Powers impression. I could be like, yeah, baby, heater. Now, you got to just take a breath and let me talk. Then we'll let you go. It is hard to leave. He's the pride of Ottawa. Many would say the spirit of the Senators franchise off the hobby Mount Rushmore. Heater Baby is 8th in franchise history in points with 362, 5th in goals, 180. More importantly, Phil, he won the hearts of Senators fans all throughout the Ottawa capital. We've talked a lot about us making more of an impact to grow the game of hockey and to give back support. So in your name, this is a surprise. Troy and I have started, we've contacted the Senators franchise, and in conjunction, we're starting a campaign for the whole crowd in the last 3 minutes of every period to start what's called the heater chant, where it'll just be heater, heater, heater. You like it?
Can I talk now?
Let me talk first.
Okay.
The picture that you're showing, complete Gongshow, or that I'm showing, is not Danny Healy.
Oh,
is this Yashin 89?
89.
I don't think that's
Yashin.
that's Healy.
No, was that Hoffman? No, he's
I
too
don't know
big
who
to
it
be
is.
Hoffman.
Let me find. I'll find another. Let me find a different
It's
picture.
Phil
of Healy.
sabotaging our show.
Yeah.
I was late last night. So Heater is a legitimate candidate, though. Phil.
He's spoiled. He's selfish. He's a bad teammate. He's a dishonest businessman. He's of weak character. He ranks right up there with history's worst people. Yeah. Worst people. He's a villain. He's a betrayer. He's Judas.
So it's Stalin, Mussolini, Genghis Khan, Danny Heatley. In
I like
your mind?
Genghis Khan. He was just misunderstood. No, Danny Healy's not. Listen, man, he's a putz. 45. What is it? $45 million. Ask for a trade. We had to. What people don't realize is he occupied the entire city over a year. Like we were on the fence. Everyone was nervous. No one knew what was going on. There's even a clip of Alfredson. You guys put Alfredson first on the Rushmore. There's a clip of Alfredson on there being interviewed at training camp and being asked about what's going to happen with Danny Healy. And Alfredson says, well, he's going to have to answer some questions to the team because we're all very confused. We thought last year went well. That's what I'm talking about. He's just a bad dude, and the problem is all the young people. They're not kids. They got men in their early 30s and late 20s. Oh, I don't know, man. The pizza line, Danny Healy, blah blah. You didn't live in this city, and if you did, you're a putz. You're a splat. The good Ottawa pedestrian opinions. It's ridiculous. He's a bad dude. Everyone that's about 38 plus agrees with me. Absolutely. If they're a true Sens fan, there's not one person who disagrees with me.
All right. Well, so he broke your heart.
He broke my heart. Yeah.
Okay.
He broke the city's heart.
Okay.
It's unbelievable, man.
All right. Well, that was very exciting, very passionate. Love the passion.
Right.
Now, just a couple really quick other candidates. Do you think you could have made a case for Yashin or like Marian Hossa?
Yeah, especially Hossa. Like, yeah, it just broke my heart. Like, we traded him for Heatley, and things would have been so good. And just such character differences. But anyways, Hossa was awesome. He has such a big following of his cards. It blows my mind. Every time we go to a card show, I'm like, oh my God, there's a Hossa PC guy. They love him. He's such a stud. Yashin, not so much with the cards, but.
I know to pump up your collection, you might have wanted to put Shane Pinto on there.
Yeah, not yet.
300 Shane Pinto Young Guns, not even a whiff of Mount Rushmore for your boy there.
I love that picture though. Listen, man, you're all gonna be a little closet Sens fans for pretty soon.
Okay, I got a question for you about this though. How much would you bet that at this point he's a Senators Mount Rushmore candidate someday?
Shane Pinto?
Yeah.
Well, I bought 12 more Young Guns for about $3 the other day. So
you can't stop. You're addicted.
I can't stop. No, I can't. I believe in him. I believe in him.
Can't quit the Pinto.
Yeah.
We have one more candidate that we had to give Troy his chance. So Damian Rhodes. Troy was in Discord. He was stumping Damian Rhodes all week. So here's your moment, Troy. Give us your Damian Rhodes, Senators, Hobby Mount Rushmore.
Here's all I got. Here's all I got. Richfield, Minnesota hockey legend.
Of course.
Troy summer goalie coach in high school.
Oh, there it is.
Dyed his hair blonde with Ottawa to change his fortunes after struggling. Then played better after that. And then finally, he did lead the new Senators to their first playoff series win in the 1998 Stanley Cup playoffs.
Taught him everything.
Can't refute that.
Donnie Beaupre showed him everything he knew in the mid 90s because it was it was Rhodes, Beaupre, then Rhodes and Tugnut, and then we got rid of Rhodes, and then it was Tugnut, Lalime, and Barrasso, I think, or something.
Yeah, Rhodes is like the forever. Like he did have some years where he started.
He was great, man. Everyone loves it. Like the Rhodes and Tugnut thing was great. The tandem, it was fantastic.
Yeah,
Swayman and Elmark, who? It's Rhodes and Tugnut.
I have two more to talk about as potential future candidates. So the context of these ones, Phil, are: could you see 10 years down the road either of these two occupying a spot on the Senators Hobby Mount Rushmore?
Okay.
The first one is, I love this nickname, Timmy Tantrums.
Timmy Tantrums. Yeah. Oh, I wish I thought of that. Yeah, him for sure.
Yeah. You just think the talent.
He's such a super. If he doesn't figure it out this year with what they put around him and with good structure and supervision, get rid of him. Like honestly, he no one is that talented, and it has to click this year. It has to click this year. He's got to do better. He has to have more poise. So if that clicks, yes, he'll be top 3 goal scorers in the league for the next 10 years.
Are you a Stutzel or a Stutzla? Like, how do you say it?
Stutzel. Stutzel, yeah.
And then Jake Sanderson. I know he's another guy you're high. Could you see him 10 years from now?
Yeah, no, because well, okay, I was going to say Scott Niedermayer, but like I guess he's in the Hall of Fame. Very stay-at-home guy. He's got to work on his accuracy of his shot.
Okay.
He's too foundationally spot on to make any risky highlight reel type plays. Does that make sense? Yeah, but I love him. He's my guy 100%, man.
Well, there we have it, Phil. The official Gongshow Senators Hobby Mount Rushmore: Alfredson, Spezza, Carlson, and Kachuk. Did we do a good job? Are you happy?
Yeah, that was really good. I was really worried you guys were going to pick Healy, and I'm very glad. I'm very glad you did, because I'm very passionate about that topic.
Would have been too obvios, but you did get your shots in.
I did. Did I? I don't know. It's like a fever dream. I never remember.
Do you black out like when you start talking about him, or what?
No, I'm doing. No, I can't black out. I usually end up in a jail cell.
So a little bit of an on-air production meeting here, but I think we're going to do this segment weekly going forward, and we'll just stretch it out because we got to map. We got to get hobby deep dives back in there, and we can't have like 8-hour shows, which is where we're going anyways. So we'll come back with next Monday show. Now, who should we do? We're going to choose right now. We're doing the Atlantic Division first. So we have Boston, Phil's Maple Leafs, Lightning, Wings, or Sabres. Who should be next?
Maple Leafs.
Maple Leafs.
I was going to vote we go American and do Sabres.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, Louis,
What's up?
who should we do?
I'll say Wings.
Buffalo or Toronto.
That was another Baba Louie Hobby hot take.
Good job, Louis. Okay,
Yes.
so you all picked a different team.
All right. Rock, paper, scissors.
Let's do Buffalo.
Okay, we'll do Buffalo.
Yeah.
Okay,
Troy-
Buffalo.
Troy wins.
Buffalo's close to Canada. I mean, they're kind of Canadian.
Thanks, Troy.
Thanks, Louis. Okay, we're going to move on. Got to mention Slab Sharks, Gongshow partner and sponsor. We're thankful to them for their support of our show. The current Slab Sharks weekly eBay auction is live, ends this upcoming Thursday. More than 2,100 cards available this week in the Slab Sharks weekly eBay auction. Seems to be growing every week. I don't know. It might just be me. And it's not just the quantity of cards. That's one thing, quantity's cool, but the quality is on point as well. The three of us have examined all the cards in this week's auction. Phil, we picked out 2. It took Phil like 6 chances to find cards, but we'll get to that in a second. All are available to bid on at slabsharks.com. And here we go with our favorites. So I'm going to start first this week. And the first one I picked out, we just talked about on our last show. I was like really confused at first because you know how, Troy, we forget instantly everything we've ever done. And I'm like, why is this card so familiar? So I actually went back through our notes and I'm like, this is the exact card we mentioned. I don't know how, it's super coincidental. It's a 2015-16 The Cup Pavel Bure limited logos out of 10. Exact same card, 9 out of 10. And we had referenced it as of right now, it's the most expensive Pavel Bure card ever bought in the secondary market. So, and that was for $4,445 US in February of 2023. So will it break that amount this week? That would be very interesting to see if it'll sell for more or less. Maybe we'll get a new record. Very wild coincidence, though. I don't know. You weren't here, Phil. Do you like this card?
Yeah, but I've seen way better Pavel Bure cards before. It's kind of a boring.
I think it's a sticker too. Can you zoom in on that, Troy? We talked about this.
No, not a cup limited logos.
I think it is, Phil.
No,
it looks like one.
Call Billy. What's going on?
I don't know. I can't tell.
Maybe not. Maybe it's just the design of the card.
Yeah,
I think last time I said Mitch needs to tell us.
Yeah, okay.
There's
We're gonna say no.
Way better Bure cards for that price point.
Then the other one I picked out is a 2022-23 OPG Platinum Wyatt Johnston. Marquee rookie Emerald Surge out of 10 raw. Great young player. Very excited about it. And then the color match. This might be one of the greatest color match cards I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's amazing.
Very
so you
nice.
get that with the almost the same like Kelly Green sort of Dallas Stars jersey with the almost the same color on the card.
Do you think its value is added to this card by having McDavid and Dr. Pepper in the background?
Who's the bigger celebrity? Dr. Pepper.
I don't know who sells more, Dr. Pepper.
Oh,
for
that's sad. Who know? Is Dr. Pepper more recognized in the world or Connor McDavid? It's probably
Oh,
Dr.
100% Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper just took over.
Horrible.
Dr. Pepper just took over number 2 from Pepsi.
Oh, that's for you.
Don't you remember,
popcorn
Phil, when Snoop Dogg was going to buy your team last summer, and his whole big thing about how he wanted, or why he would be a good owner, is to bring more audience and attention to the NHL. He said he doesn't know a single person in America that's heard of Connor McDavid.
Oh, is that what he said? No, I did
Pretty
not hear him
much.
say that. That's crazy.
All right, Troy, you're next. What are your 2 favorites?
First, I'm bitter that I got demoted, and I'm wondering, is this because of my Mario Lemieux selection
No,
of his glamour shot? So
I'm going to tell you why. You want to know? You really want to know? You want to get honest here? Baba Louie took me to Metallica, and I didn't get an invite from you
there you
to
go.
Green Day.
There you go. That's a good point. All right. First card. 1999 Upper Deck Ovation. Gordie Howe Super Signatures auto out of 99. You rarely see Gordie Howe like on. I don't see him a lot on card auto. So hand numbered. I know Josh, you like that. I think it looks cool, and I'm all for this card.
You know why I like this card? He looks young.
Yeah, it doesn't look. I mean, the little gray on the old.
Well, but we're talking on the Gordie Howe scale here.
When he looked like he was 50 in 1948 or whatever.
His 1979 OPG, where he's with the Whalers, he looks like he's 180 years old.
Grandpa. It's a grandpa card.
Still
So I got
scored
a
50 points.
really quick story that I'll go fast. In college, I grew up caddying at golf clubs. I had a scholarship called the Evans Scholarship in school. But anyways, I was the caddy master at Hazeltine National Golf Club during college in Chaska, Minnesota. It's where where Payne Stewart famously won the U.S. Open. They had the PGA Championship there in 2002. It was a golf club, and every Monday they would have corporate events to help keep members' costs down, or golf members' costs down. And Wendy's would have an event, their annual golf event there every year. And while he was still alive, remember how Dave Thomas used to be in all the Wendy's commercials? Yep. Well, I'll never forget the first time he looked, I don't know how they made him look as good on TV. He was like Gollum. He was like a moon crescent. He was so hunched over.
Oh, really?
And he was like the oldest human being I've ever seen in my life. I couldn't believe it was like CGI back in the 90s or something like that to get him to look that good.
Wow.
It's like real estate agents' advertisements.
Yeah,
they're the same in Minnesota. They look beautiful and handsome on the posters. But
yeah.
when you meet them, you're like, Jesus, who beat you with the ugly stick? Oh my God.
Okay, Troy, what's your second one?
Second one. 2009 Upper Deck SP Authentic Mike McDonald rookie review patch auto out of 100. You can't see it because I didn't show it. Haha, here it is. YouTube viewers, I just love this card because McDonald looks so stinking young. He's got a sweet mullet. North Stars jersey. I don't know if I showed the back of this card.
That's a really nice card, Troy. It's very nice.
Yeah, North Stars emblem, game used. I mean, what else do you want? This looks fantastic. So I shouldn't even said it because I want to bid on it, but now I probably will get outbid. But whatever.
Well, Louis the only one going to bid on this.
Louis probably got this.
Well, not if it's on for auction. Oh, you mean a different one?
Well, yeah, he's got. I mean, there's 100 of them. So.
All right, Phil. It's always an adventure. Yours are pretty tame this week.
Yeah, I like them. It's Connor McDavid, just a base card Connor McDavid with one of the greatest hockey card designs of all time. OPG
it's awesome.
Cardboard. Yeah, it's fantastic. It should be a poster. I'd love to have this as a poster. You know?
Now, this is a parallel, though, everyone. It's a blank back.
Yeah. Oh, blank back. Yeah, no, I don't want the blank back. I'd rather the regular back.
Are the blank backs are 101s, right? No, they're just short printed?
Short printed. SSP.
Yeah, you know me. You don't SSP. Okay, and then your second one?
I think it's a Champs McDavid. Yeah, there it is. Champs McDavid auto. Love these cards. I love the Champs cards. I have a few. I have Keith Tkachuk, Brady Tkachuk. I like these cards. I would actually try to pick this up.
He's got a little bit of questionable hockey mouth there, but it's okay. Minor case.
Look who my favorite player is. He's king of hockey mouth, Brady.
Yeah. I would put Cole Caulfield ahead of Brady.
Oh yeah.
And maybe even Bedard. Bedard's pretty bad too.
Yeah.
All right. If you collect hockey cards and you're Canadian, then you need some Slab Sharks in your life. They make it simple, hassle-free to sell your cards on eBay because Phil, they do all the work, like all of it. They take great photos, list your cards, answer buyer questions, hunt down payments, ship to either Canada or the US, big topic on our show lately, and most importantly, handle any post-sale issues. For complete consignment info, head post-haste to slabsharks.com. You can see payout rates and start the consignment process today. Hobby news!
Hobby news.
News from the hobby.
All right, guys. Road to Infinity time. It's been another week already on the Road to Infinity, where we're tracking the growth of the Connor Bedard base Young Guns PSA 10 pop count to what I think we all assume will be the highest of heights and the most PSA 10s of any hockey card ever, eventually. As of our last update, we got so close to the magical 5K number of 5,000 PSA 10s for a card that just came out in March, again, of this year. So here we are. It's a big moment. It's a huge moment for Troy, I can tell. Just looking at your face. Per the most recently updated PSA population reports and is certified by the accounting firm of Celebrini, Misa, and McKenna, the PSA 10 pop count for the Connor Bedard base Young Guns is now at, drum roll, please, Troy. Oh, God, that was beautiful.
That was a wet one.
5,029 PSA 10s. A slight increase, only 53 PSA 10s in the past week, but it does get the pop count of this card over that magical 5K milestone, making it only the third hockey card in existence with more than 5,000 PSA 10s. It joins the Jack Hughes Young Guns and Troy's Kirill Kaprizov Young Guns as the only cards over 5K. Overall, though, a slow week. I think we're going to do these updates every couple weeks now. So
I was going to say, we should try to do it once a month.
Yeah, even on the once a month train, yeah. So
yeah, 5,000. That's, I mean, what more do you need to know?
Or do we wait till it's at 6,000? Like, just
nah, we'll go every couple weeks. We'll kind of lengthen it out a little bit. We've pretty much run this into the ground as it is. So,
all right.
Then I got one more hobby news story that I think is kind of interesting. So rookie debut patches are now going to come to the NFL and NBA cards from Fanatics. So this story comes out of Collect. It looks like Fanatics will be expanding their program where in the MLB right now with Topps, when a player makes their debut, a special patch is sewn on their jersey, worn in their debut game, then removed, authenticated, shipped back to Topps, and added to a special 101 rookie card. This will now happen in both the NFL and NBA. So, and guys, in all the new innovations that Fanatics has already brought, these patch cards for baseball, I think, are my favorite. It's such an amazing concept.
Phenomenal. This is this is the change we should all embrace if it's done well, right? Let's see how the framework
wait till they put only these in breaker products.
Oh gosh.
Oh boy, I hope not.
What do you guys think has better odds? Peace in the Middle East or Upper Deck and Fanatics figuring out a way to get this done for hockey?
Well, your timing is terrible. I don't know. They're pretty even, I think. Yeah.
I was thinking though, I don't know if Upper Deck would have to have Fanatics on board because they're just making the jerseys. If they could do a deal with the NHL and just have somebody at the rink to sew it on and take it off.
Because Fanatics doesn't approve the sponsors, right? The ads that go on it. So I don't think they
can't
need
tell
Fanatics.
the NHL what goes on the jerseys. Now when Fanatics did it for the MLB, it made it easy because the whole quote from Michael Rubin was the MLB commissioner said, well, you make the jersey, just put the patch on and take it off. Right. So,
and then hung up on him.
Really?
I hope Upper Deck is doing everything as big as possible to get ahead, to show that they're like, we're hip, we're modern. We're like, I hope they're talking with the NHLPA more. I hope they're getting involved, like getting ahead of it. Cause you don't want them to be complacent and then Fanatics, who's trying to be on the cutting edge of new, to come in and with a better presentation, you know?
Yeah. Well, you don't want to play catch up either, right?
Stay away from my Upper Deck. Stay away. What do we do to protect them?
No,
they need to innovate.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Troy.
I was gonna say whatever they do right now, if they do this patch thing, which is fantastic, it's a copy. They're gonna copycat, which is
flattering. Then,
yeah, I guess everything's a copy of something.
Yeah, when Sony made VHS and Sony made VHS, I might be getting this wrong. Did other companies were like, oh, it's over, fold the company, we can't make a VHS player either? No,
you're down Betamax, right?
Beta, whatever.
Beta.
You copy them and you do it better. That's what Upper Deck should do. Watch Fanatics do it for the first season, and then watch where they fail, and then swoop in better. Yeah.
I just keep thinking of a NHL debut patch on a jersey that's game used on a card. Like, I spent a whole bunch of time this weekend. We're gonna do like our top 5 hockey 101 cards next. That segment would be unnecessary at that point. It would be with a bullet the best rookie card of every NHL player. Can you imagine in the cup a Connor Bedard debut patch from his first game on that card and it's game used? 101.
Amazing. It's a napkin patch.
What if they cut it in half and put half in the cup and the other half in some other product?
We shall cut the bike in half.
See, I don't like that though. I like how
No, I'm not saying do that.
Yeah.
No, don't do that. That's just
don't do a manufactured patch either. That would be
no.
a terrible way to go about it. But I do think though that we've talked a lot about in our threats to the hobby and just overall in the past 6 months about how people, in a lot of ways, rightfully so, don't love exclusive license agreements because there's no competition. I agree with you, Phil. I think that Upper Deck has to be starting to feel some of the heat from Fanatics and to up their game to keep up, right? Because it's not, we think of these sports as too siloed, maybe in some cases. I think I made this point recently too, where you're not just competing for only hockey card dollars. There's people that collect hockey and baseball and football. And if Fanatics starts doing dramatically better stuff with their products and they're at the card shop and they're like, well, do I buy a box of baseball cards or a box of hockey cards? That might tilt them to buying the baseball cards because I think there's more interesting or better content in that box. And so there is competition in that way. It's indirect competition, but it exists. And I think Fanatics has done they're a sponsor of our show. We always got to mention that when we talk about them, just for transparency's sake. But I think that they are pushing the envelope forward. And the last thing I'll say too about Upper Deck keeping up, as much as I'd love to see a debut patch concept very similar to this, just do something. It doesn't have to be the same. Find a way to do something Fanatics isn't doing that blows people's minds. And what Fanatics has done in Michael Rubin, where you have to give him credit, is he has broken all the barriers that were like, oh, they'll never put a patch on for a baseball card, only for a baseball card, right? All these things. And when he tells the story of how they got this to happen in the first place, they always mention there was huge resistance at Topps when the idea came up, where the top staff was like, oh, don't embarrass us and go ask for this because they're going to laugh at us. Right? Where and according to him, it was like a 2-minute phone call and it got done. So we need to push through some of these perceived maybe barriers that people think exist and keep innovating and pushing it forward and having better and better cards. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in the next segment. But I'm not surprised that they're moving it to football and baseball. And when they get the licenses or football and basketball, when they get the licenses for those products, I think that, they're going to be, can you imagine quarterbacks with their debut patch?
Wow. Be wild.
It's going to be crazy. Okay, we ready to move on?
Let's go.
I think our good buddy California Dave, who we're going to talk to on the after show or the after party today, kind of gave me this idea a few days ago, and I sort of ran with it. And it's ranking the best hockey 101s. Nothing more magical, guys, than the idea of hitting or purchasing or trading for a 101, right? When you know that you have that only copy of that card that exists and it's yours. And there's nary a spot in the hobby that hasn't been affected also by what we're calling the junk variety era. And it's really affected 101s. And I think it's made a discussion like this useful and hopefully necessary because there are more 101s than ever before. When you look at like a product like Stature, a product we all love, do you guys want to guess? So I went back and just as a flyer to come up with a random example, I looked at 2022-23 Stature and one player, Wayne Gretzky. How many 101s, Wayne Gretzky 101s, do you think are in the last Stature release? Who wants to go first?
8.
Phil,
8.
What do you think, Troy?
10.
I think there's 7.
Okay.
7.
That's crazy.
And that's in one product. And so we have this point where, like in this whole junk variety concept, where there's so many 101s that I think it's starting to water down the gravitas of the card,
Ooh,
right? Where we don't
gravitas.
look at a 101 in the same level anymore. And so to have a conversation around, well, what are the best? How do you know as a collector if this is sort of one of these just junk variety 101s, or if this is like a card that is a showstopper, like one of the grails of the hobby for that individual player? And so that was sort of the exercise today is, well, can I think of what are, I guess, my top 5 101s, which, as you already mentioned, Troy, in our game plan is going to be controversial at times and might have missed some obvious ones to some people, and that'll be part of the fun of the discussion. So I'm trying to think, are we ready to? Oh, I also do think that it's really important for us to all be talking about this because one ones, as we know, get really pricey. And if they just keep growing and growing and growing, the volume of them, at some point, you don't want to spend $4,000 on a card that's ultimately worth $300, even if the player does well, because it's not seen as, I always struggle with the word here, like special or distinctive. I don't know if that's a better word down the road. Because anyone that has one, when you're selling it, you're leveraging the crap out of the fact that it's a 101, right? Even if
That's
you
what
have one of the,
I find that the most annoying. Trying to like, I'm not a big 101 guy. I have some, and I like some of them, but it's the guy who has it. Oh my goodness! Like, it's a big sell. It's a big sell.
well, we fall for it too. If you're on eBay and you see Gretzky 101 from 2022 stature, they're not gonna. The owner of that card is not gonna put in the listing one of 7 101s, right? And kind of give you proper context. So
People put on eBay jersey numbered cards 101. That grinds
Yeah.
my gears a little
yeah,
bit.
that waters it down, I think, a little bit too.
Yeah.
So I challenged myself to identify the top 5 most prestigious, most special 101 cards that we currently have in the hockey hobby. And I want card types. I'm not picking like a Connor McDavid certain card type. It's like this is the card that, if the right player or your favorite player, should be one of the biggest cards for that player in the hobby. And then to make it even dicier, because I'm a glutton for pain in the comments, I've ranked them from 5 to 1. So I'm going to go through them. Then you guys can throw in anything you think I missed or that should be on the list. We can argue the order, and you can tell me how dumb I am. Does that sound good?
Very good.
Okay.
Are we ready? Phil, you scared? You look scared.
Well, I'm a bit confused. Hold on. So you're going to start at 5, and you're not picking. It doesn't matter if it's Connor McDavid or Crosby. We're picking like Shield
Card type. Yeah.
Card type.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
card
Got
type.
it. Okay.
All right, here we go. So for number 5, I picked the OPG Platinum Golden Treasures 101 as the 5th best 101 card in the hockey hobby. Now, you can maybe cheat a little bit, and you could also throw in maybe, because Golden Treasures is a card that is an allure as well. But that being said, the OPG Platinum Golden Treasures, I think, is a cut above any allure card, at least at this point in the hobby. And for my rationale, there's something about the combination of gold and 101 that I think really works, of course, well. The top sale of any OPG Platinum Golden Treasures is this 2021-22 Cole Caulfield Golden Treasures Auto Raw. So, of course, a 101. So for $12,711 US dollars last July 4th.
$12,000
Yeah.
for an.
Is this the one that was at Two
That's
Bros?
wild.
Two Bros, yeah.
Wow.
And it would have sold for way more, but they were dumb and ended it at 2 a.m. on the 4th of July or 3 a.m.
Oh man, Quebecers are crazy. I love it. Bunch of Cowboys. $12,000 for an auto, because usually there would be a Golden Treasures non-auto of an OPG.
Yeah, and I would find that more valuable, but I think it's a very debatable.
Yeah,
a lot of people like
that
the
is
auto
definitely
more.
debatable. Yeah,
It's the highest selling Caulfield card to date, even above any of his cup sales. And then, in addition, I found 69 total sales in Card Ladder sales history for Golden Treasure 101 that are over $1,000 US dollars, I think.
wow.
So it's a card that does command money. I also kind of view this as an up and comer still, where I think its significance will build in time in the hobby. So I don't know. What do you guys think of Golden Treasures 101? Do you think it's a top 5 worthy, or do we need to go through some more before you can enter your opinion?
I thought it'd be higher, Josh.
Okay.
I'm curious to see the next 4.
What do you think, Troy?
I love these. I love OPG Platinum 101 Golden Treasures. So I'm all on board with this pick.
Okay, number 4, similar theme, but it's the Metal Universe PMG Gold 101s. We all know the PMG market has taken a bit of a hit, especially in the past year. But that being said, some of the gold PMG 101s that were introduced, these were pretty new, 2020 metal, have sold for huge dollars. Like, if you, as an example, this 2020 retro gold PMG of Sidney Crosby, it's a PSA 8, sold for $164,400 US dollars in March of 2022.
Phil, your mouth just opened. I watched it go agape as he read that off.
Okay, go ahead. That's wild, man. That's a
And
cottage.
they're still sought after even beyond 2020, especially the retros. The retros will command the biggest money usually. So in total, I found there's these are just public sales. There's 2 sales over $100,000, 4 total sales over 20,000 US, and 6 total sales over 10,000 US. And this is rumor, right? But I think it's fairly known. It was the first expo we were at, Troy. Remember where there was the
Yep,
OV
for
Gold
sure.
101?
For
And
sure.
what is it, 400,000 to 500,000 US that sold for privately?
Something ridiculous like that. I think, yeah, that range sounds right.
But these are new. The metal. I mean, am I wrong? The metal
Gold is in 2020.
Yeah.
PMGs
Okay.
go back to 2012.
I get that. It just I find that crazy. I find that. I mean, it's a nice card. Very nice card.
I got to assume the Bedard will go for big money too. I don't know. What do you guys think of PMG Golds? Are they an elite hobby 101 in your opinion?
Yeah, I would rather a golden treasure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm actually with you, Phil, where I've been vocal on the show. I'm just not a fan of PMGs, but I'd be an idiot not to say these aren't like elite 101s in the hobby. Just look at the prices some of them come.
It got killed for me. I was a huge PMG fanboy
All the different
until I was
colors?
like, oh, why is there a retro? Okay, that's fine. And then Brady's rookie year really turned me off. They changed it and then did the employee special, the purple one.
The purple
So
ones?
I love the purples.
Well, I like the purple. I just don't like the way it rolled out. I mean, I was just, can we just keep this simple? I think that's what everyone liked before. So I'm off the PMGs ever since late 2010s.
There's no way I could put this ahead of the Golden Treasures, though, given to Troy what you just mentioned. The dollar amounts.
No, you're right, Josh. Crazy. I agree with you. Yeah.
Now, the next one's number 3. And I think this is where people are going to fall out of their chair. So I'm bracing myself for what's coming. And it's not because of the card. It's because that I put it at number 3. So I'm going with, it's kind of a twofer. I'm lumping the Black Foil Shield 101s and the Exquisite Rookie Auto Shield 101s from the Cup into number 3.
You're putting Ultimate Shield as number 1.
Shh.
Oh, Josh, you are wrong on this. You are wrong.
And I'm sure a lot of people are. I'm not saying it was number 1 because this is just number 3.
All right,
now, of course, it's a little risky putting Cup 101 shields here, but I'm going to get into that in a minute. So the Cup and Exquisite are the 2 biggest, most prestigious brands in all the hobby. I'm not arguing that, right? And of course, not much beats the idea of a Shield 101. You get Rookie Shield 101s, Vets also are Shield 101s, and pretty cool duels like this Lemieux and Crosby dual shield from 2005, the Cup, right? These are amazing cards. But if you ask me why it's number 3, it's because the fact that there's Exquisite Shield 101s and the Cup Shield 101s in the same product, I kind of feel waters it down a little bit. It's a little bit of like the seedlings of the junk variety era. It just gets confusing, right? Like, which is the best one? I don't know.
The Cup one.
You think so?
I know so.
I think some people would say the Exquisite. I don't know. And it's a little bit like the very, very poor man's version of Stature 101s. It's like, in the biggest product in the hobby, I want the one card undoubtedly to stand out above any other card. And I feel like that there is that you can have that debate between the Exquisite and the Cup. And for that reason alone, and maybe it's people think that's ridiculous, but that's why I knocked it down to number 3. Do you think I'm crazy?
Well, I don't know. I'm very curious to see what number 1 is, because if it has Ultimate on it, there's going to be a problem.
Okay. Well, we'll see. What do you think, Troy?
I don't know. It's hard for me to see the Cup 101 not number 1.
Yes, Troy.
But It's like I don't have a better. I mean, I get your reasoning. I always feel the Cup 101 Shield is like always the card.
Ha, 2 against 1.
Right. Maybe I'll be.
My opinion doesn't matter though. I don't know anything about cards.
Your
Come to the
opinion
dark
matters.
side.
Okay, let's go on to number 2. Maybe controversial. I picked the Outburst Gold 101.
Oh,
So I'm putting, the biggest one's going to be the Young Guns, of course.
Yeah.
And I'm putting those ahead of the Shields from the Cup and Exquisite. Now, sacrilege, maybe, but here's my case for this. The Young Guns is the most iconic card in all the hockey hobby. Now you have a 101 where Upper Deck completely nailed the design. Out of the park, knocked it out of the park with the gold Outburst foiling. I think that this is going to be a massively important card moving forward. I haven't seen $1 million bounty on a Shield 101. But we have $1 million bounty on the Bedard Outburst Gold 101 for his Young Guns. And in our time following this hobby closely, Troy, I can't also think of a single card that has gotten more attention, more anticipation than the Bedard, right? And again, when we're seeing secondary market sales like this, Bobby McMahon, $7,200.
what?
This sold for on the secondary market.
Yes.
That's his mom buying that card. 'cause that
Yeah,
doesn't
maybe.
make sense. Yeah, Mrs. McCann.
But again, I want to go back
McMahon.
though again to like the whole. It's been like 2.5 years almost now since we've done the show. The Bedard 101 is the most emphasis hobby wide we've seen on any single card. Is it a anomaly or is it just like this one instance? I don't know. We'll see. But again, the secondary markets, including the McMahon, are nuts on these. And of course, the big question is going to be, does this card have staying power beyond the fact that it's the first year, the fact that it's Connor Bedard? But I'm kind of, I guess, by putting it at number 2, I'm betting that it will. I think this is going to be an incredibly significant card moving forward, especially at the Young Guns. Thoughts?
I think you did great, Josh. You have convinced me. I didn't even think of this, and I definitely see your point at it besting the Cup Exquisite. I may not. Let me sleep on it. Ask me tomorrow. But I see you made very good, valid points. I agree with you.
Well, I'm going to have a point specifically on that in a second before I completely disappoint you with my number 1. And that's the ultimate
Well, you're just wrong.
Shield 101.
You're
No,
just
I'm not.
wrong.
Wait, you have to hold on.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Now, to me, Ultimate Shield 101s are the creme de la creme of all hockey 101s. So I did put a lot of time into thinking why. And I go back to that Exquisite kind of, there's too much confusion for me between the Cup and Exquisite and the Cup releases. And well, the fact is these have sold for more than those two. They command more money. And so you have to ask yourself, well, why is that the case? Maybe it's because these cards predate even the Cup. Not by a lot, right? The first NHL Shields and Ultimate were 2004. The Cup didn't come out until 2005. Right? I don't know if that's a factor or not. But you look at this McDavid RPA from 2015-16, so for $181,800 US. Then you got a 2004-05 Gretzky NHL Shield from that very first year. BGS 8.5, 145,000 in May 2022. There's no public. Who knows what's happened privately? The Cup Shield card that sold for more than those. And here's now I'm going to make my last point. Then you can tell me how dumb I am. But this goes back to the Outburst Gold 101. If I look at, so there's 3 Shield cards that we're kind of debating here. There's the Cup Shield, the Exquisite Shield, and the Ultimate Shield. None of them are game worn for a rookie. If Upper Deck, even beyond the debut patch, if they pick one of these cards and just made it happen to make one of these Shields game worn in the rookie card, there's no debate at that point, right? That I don't care which one it is.
I agree.
Make one of them game worn, for gosh sake.
Yeah,
it's really irritating, and that's a little bit why I think you can knock them down a peg too, is because they're just photo shoot cards. And here you have Fanatics putting a patch, like that patch from that game was on that player's jersey, and you have the provenance till the end of time on that card. And our biggest cards are photo shoot cards.
Is Logo Man game worn?
The NBA ones?
Yeah, the ones they
I
all
don't
go
know.
crazy about.
Maybe.
I
But
don't know.
okay, Phil, we'll start with you. Why do you
No, I don't think you're dumb. I love you, man. I respect you. I just think some of I disagree with the decision. So I would go. I believe you made very good points. I actually will admit I was wrong. I thought Ultimate Shields were game worn, and that's why the guys were paying so much. So thank you for clarifying. You bunch of crazy knuckleheads. You're buying Ultimate patches for more than the Cup and Exquisite, and they're not even game worn. Amazing. You're even sillier than I thought. So I would do Cup Exquisite 1, maybe 1A, 1B with your Outburst. I really like the arguments you made for the Outburst. So I would say they're interchangeable. Ultimate would be 5th for me. Golden Treasures would be 3rd. And then I forget what the 4th one would be. But I'm very close to you. But I would put Cup Exquisite 1, 1A, 1B with the Outburst.
Yeah, you just had me paranoid for a second. So I went back and I looked at the McDavid shield that sold for 131 181 on the screen because it was sold by Golden, and the memorabilia has been certified to us as having been used in a rookie photo shoot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's insane. I was so wrong all these years. I thought they were all game worn jerseys. They're not. What's crazy people.
And maybe some earlier ones are. I don't.
Maybe
not an ultimate expert on it. There's a lot of like shield collectors that would school us in about 2 seconds. Probably
they're crazy, man. They're crazier than the EPAC people.
And I think that the whole point of this, of course, it's a silly argument. Like, what's the top 5? But what I wanted to do with this is to get people thinking about if you want a 101, that you have to be choosy in this era that we're in, where there's so many. There's like this amount of differentiation is overwhelming at times.
I'll give a free idea to Upper Deck. This will be the Grand Hockey Card. You do that rookie debut patch. You do a dual patch card for the player. Put his rookie debut patch and his shield on one card. Boom. Instant 6-figure card.
Probably. I wouldn't.
What
are your thoughts on all this, Troy? What do you think is for a player that you love, what to you is the ultimate representation of like their best rookie card on earth?
So say if they came out now, because obviously like Outburst Golds, I love. I think that would be like my number 1 pick for me personally. I've been on record saying this. I don't like these ultimate 101s. I don't like the look of them. It's just me. I've said that every time this card's come up on our show. I don't understand it, but it's just I get it. People love it and they pay big money. And like I said before, to me it's just like the Shield 101, but the confusion, I think you're dead on. And I always say this, Dave made a good point in our chat where he said the shield cards in the cup aren't the main chase for the product as it is an ultimate. So that could lead to, I think you might have said that too, Josh. I can't remember.
That's a good point.
That's why that's bigger. But I personally love the gold Outbursts. And if I had a player I was PCing and they came out, last year or going forward, that's the one I would want.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point, Troy. I put myself in the scenario, so I close my eyes. Do I want a Young Guns gold Outburst of Brady Tkachuk or a 1-of-1 cup shield? I'd probably want the gold Outburst. So there you go. No, that's great. I've changed my tune. There we go. Done. Gold Outburst all the way.
That card has been a smashing success. It really
so nice, man. They're so nice. Really nice.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's the list. At least for me, it's at number 5, OPG Platinum Golden Treasures. Number 4, Metal Universe PMG Gold 101s. At 3, the Cup Shields. So it's exquisite, and the Cup kind of can't separate them really and then number 2, Outburst Gold 101s, and then Ultimate NHL Shield 101 is at number 1. So we want to know what you guys think. Agree or disagree with my top 5. Let us know in the comments, message us. It's always fun to hear people's thoughts on these. Well, very, very exciting moment in our show. It's a new product releases. We have another checklist that's dropped for one of the most anticipated sets of the year. It's MVP, Phil.
Oh,
hey, let's not knock MVP. It's great, great for families. He left.
No, I will in a few seconds. But go ahead.
No, listen. MVP is great for new kids into the hobby.
It is. You're
like
right.
For that 8-year-old that you don't care if they open the whole box and like I hate those videos where like a dad has his kid open, a $400 box, and his dad's so paranoid.
Don't touch it.
hovering over the kid as he opens it, just ready to grab it, if he hits a big card. This is where MVP comes in.
It is for kids. They have a whole bunch of like the mascot cards. There's some numbered gritty cards in it.
Yeah.
And such. But I do think that there is a relevant reason for us to go through it. Other than we should go through every hockey set. It's Phil, this is our first look at the 2024-25 rookie class.
Okay.
So when the checklist comes out, these are the names that we're going to be talking about an awful lot going forward. So that's where my interest lies. So we're going to go through this very quick. We're not going to spend as much time as we do with other sets. We're just going to go through kind of the highlights, but we are going to spend a little bit of time on that rookie checklist and talk about maybe some of the notable names that have popped up.
All right.
So here we go. MVP has a base set of 250 cards. Cards 1 through 200 are vets. There's a number of parallels, which is shocking, of course. There's the silver script, which is 1 in 10 hobby. The gold script, I think we have an example of that, right, Troy?
I do. Hold on. I'm on it. There we go.
There we go. I'm not a big fan of these cards because I don't like facsimile autos, but that's just me. For a kid,
hold on. I'm a dummy. This is the silver script. Sorry.
What's it called? A facsimile? Facsimile auto? What is
facsimile.
that? Facsimile. What is that?
Fake.
It means like a fake auto. It's done by it's not signed, it's representation of their auto. Then there's a black script, superscript 101, and there's printing plate 101. So yeah, chase those. Now, there you go. Relevant to our last comment, not in the top 5 101s in the hobby.
Yeah, here's the superscript of Kaprizov. You have to watch these two. Like, we know it, but obviously sometimes on eBay, if you look at MVP cards, sometimes they'll say auto, and they don't say that they're facsimile autos. Just remember that. On these scripts and superscripts, they are.
Why don't they say printed auto?
I don't know.
That's good. Just something to look for.
Then cards 250 or 201 to 250 are SP cards or short printed. That includes rookies and other young prospects. So interesting note here too, that Bedard is not an SP. So he's going to debut in all of his base glory for 2024-25 MVP. And which made me laugh because I'm thinking, well, what are the odds that the first few Bedard MVP base cards that are second year sell for like $30 or something?
There'll be like a Bedard in every pack, probably.
They'll grade them. They'll just grade all these cards. Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Now, I think there's 30 rookies on the checklist. So I kind of went through and picked out, I think, the 4 biggest names. Many of these are going to be holdovers, right? Because all the draft picks like Macklin Celebrini, those are going to be the redemption cards. So these are players that at least debuted last year. So I got 4 names for you guys. Olin Zellweger, he's a young defenseman from the Ducks who had 9 points in 26 games last year. I don't know a ton about him, but I know there's been hype for a few years on him. You know anything about Zellweger, Phil? I think he's Canadian.
I just hear the name often. I haven't looked into it. No.
Yeah. Then Troy, Jesper Wallstedt. Been a top goalie prospect for the Wild, going back to almost when they were the North Stars.
Yep.
And maybe he'll get a shot to play someday. We never know. Unfortunately, they still have Flower and Gus Bus on the roster, so where he's going to play, it's anybody's guess, right? But he, for a long time, has been regarded one of the top young goalie prospects in the NHL. Then you got Matt Rempe, the Rempire State Building, who was a huge fan favorite last year, of course, when he got called up for his very aggressive and throwback enforcer style play for the Rangers. I'm assuming he'll be a pretty big chase early on in all the 2024-25 releases. I would say initially, one of the things I'm going to be curious about this year is, I know he's an enforcer, so when he has like 9 goals,
he's a chase for a week.
is he still going to be like a big chase in April and May, or are people going to move on? Kind of like the Arbor Jack, thing, right? That's died down a lot. And then the last one is the biggest. It's Logan Stankoven. He's the fill-sized forward for your Dallas Stars, right? But my football coach, Phil, used to always say dynamite comes in small packages. Remember that?
Oh, really? Small yet mighty.
Yeah. In 24 games played last year with the Stars, he had 6 goals, 8 assists for 14 points. Looked very promising. So he'll be one of the bigger chases other than Celebrini, probably in the 2024-25 rookie class in all 24 products, I would assume. So those are does that do anything for you guys? Exciting?
No, not at all.
I know. I don't. Nope.
Well, we might have a Bedard hangover this year for all these
I know,
products,
it's really
right? Where it's
interesting.
like, it's just not going to be the same. Now, for the SP short printed cards
Yeah.
on the checklist, there's parallels as well. Silver script, a little bit worse odds, like 1 in 20 hobby. Gold script, 1 in 70. It's a blaster only product there. Superscript 1 in 25, black superscript, those are 101s, and printing plate 101s. So that's kind of the base set. Then the only other real set that I wanted to go through quickly is the colors and contours, because those cards do have a little bit of amount of hobby chase, and people collect them, and they can get a little bit spendy down the road. Interesting though, the names were all messed up on the checklist that we got directly from Upper Deck.
Oh, really?
And so Beckett didn't even publish it, and that's why I'm guessing. But I know there's 34 players on the checklist. Mostly that's a few rookies. We'll have to find out once that gets corrected who they are. But there are 3 different variations of the colors and contours. There's the gold at a 250.
That's pretty
There's
spiffy.
I think it's really plain this year.
Well, it's a die cut too, but it's.
They're always die cut.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's more plain than past years for sure.
Mm-hmm. And then there's a green out of 20 and a purple out of 3.
Boy, this is the green.
Yeah.
It's like aqua green.
Looks like a Colgate toothpaste.
Yeah, it looks like blue.
There
That's
you
the
go.
picture. And then, oops, never mind.
Yeah. And there's some nice looking inserts. There's mascot cards, some numbered cards too. But I don't think we need to run through them. And I think going back to your kids' point, Troy, that the mascot cards are kind of cool for kids.
Did you happen to see, are they doing are the mascot, like they have the stats and everything? Like it's kind of like a
I didn't
battle.
look at that.
I was gonna say, because Phil's all about EPAC, so he's getting ready for the MVP battles.
I'm getting up there, boys. They're almost my
EPAC
people.
wars. You ready?
EPAC or Phil, that's your new hobby nickname.
Get ready. It might happen, man. I don't know. I'm getting myself in there.
I know. With the whole CT, I think scanning stuff, if you want to buy your cases from, well, let's leave it at that for now.
About the MVP, obviously they're making money. Like, when you see silly things on TV and you're like, who buys this crap? Obviously someone's buying the crap. Like, I'm not saying MVP's crap. I'm just the thing on television would be crap. So there's obviously people buying MVP every year and they're making a profit, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's a big retail product, and
but
its perfect. It's a low end entry level product that
entry level product.
It's $100.
No.
Well, what's it? I saw $60 on the screen there.
That's US, right?
That's
okay.
US.
So that's $100 for Canadian.
No,
so $90.
I got the prices. Yeah, we'll throw up the pricing pro. It's $58 US.
Okay.
At Dave and Adams, it was $60 with Bedard and $58 the year before. So it's been very consistent.
Okay.
Then in Canada, it's $80 Canadian, which is actually $58 US equivalent almost exactly.
How big's the set? Is it 300 cards?
250, and then all the inserts and.
Okay, so it's a pretty decent. So it's a completable set with a couple of boxes, maybe.
Yeah, I think Troy hit the nail on the head with this. It said if you have a kid you want to get a gift for, and you don't want to buy a $400 box of OPG Platinum, that it's a good entry level kind of product.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, 58 US, 80 Canadian. Biggest question I have is how many cases do you pre-order, Phil?
Oh, I'll let you know tomorrow. I don't know. I'm getting pretty excited here.
How many top loader binders are you going to be filling with MVP cards? That's what I want to know. How many?
I got 4 right behind me right now, ready to be filled.
We're going to move on. Fanatics Collect, Gongshow partner and sponsor. Very thankful for their support. So from all indications, Fanatics Fest seems like it's been a pretty big success. Crazy stuff going on there. Have had huge FOMO from not being there, admittedly, over the past few days. And what really sticks with me on this one is that this is the first one. You think of stuff like the big shows or events. The Expo did not start out as the second largest card show in the world, right? You're used to like little small couple tables, humble beginnings, and now
started in a garage.
Yeah, becomes Amazon started in Jeff Bezos' garage.
Yeah.
Fanatics Fest started at the Javits Center with every athlete known to man, and so it makes you appreciate what they were able to pull off from a first time perspective, and then to think beyond that, well, where is this going to go from here? I mean, is it going to be all across the country? Could it possibly get bigger? And there's undoubtedly been some negatives, right? It seems like the lines were incredibly long. I'm sure they've learned lessons from that. But I still think it's an incredible feat for them to pull off like all the crazy stuff. Like I saw not hockey related, but well, kind of Tom Brady shooting hockey pucks. There was videos there. Cody Rhodes, the wrestler, gave a young kid his championship belt and let him keep it, and just like crazy stuff. I don't know. What have you guys seen as far as highlights?
I've seen the Brady. Looks like he kind of can shoot a puck, or it was actually pretty good. Unlike Michael Rubin, do you see him throwing pitches or whatever they were doing?
No.
It's not good. And then I saw the Cody Rhodes. I love Cody Rhodes. I think he's. We told the story about, or Louis and me were in Absolute, our card shop we usually go to, and the owner of that is from our hometown, and he was given a story on how I think it was him and his kid were outside. I think I'll say Target Center. WWE was there, and they were just pulling out, and like the kid had a sign said something like Cody Rhodes, and he was across the street, wasn't even like with all the fans. The bus pulls away, stops. All of a sudden, Cody Rhodes runs out and like runs across the street to this kid, gets a picture with him, gives him an autograph, and
body slams.
That's
him.
awesome. Body slam.
Body slam.
Yeah. And beyond all the stuff too, you got to give him credit for bringing a big card show to New York City. Like, I think that's important for the hobby. There's just places you got to be, and to have a presence like this in New York is pretty crazy. So good on them. I'm sure we're going to get a lot more info, stats, figures into next week of like how many people attended. We're going to hear lots of opinions about what worked, what didn't work, and it's the first time, so there's going to be stuff that's going to have to be improved, and I'm sure they know that better than anyone. So good on them for that. Also, a reminder: the August premiere auction ends Thursday night. There's a very cool Gretzky OPG rookie PSA 8.5 in this month's premiere, and then finally the Fanatics Collect weekly auction is live as well. Be sure to head to fanaticscollect.com, see all the cards available in this week's auction. I'm going to give a hint. There's a huge Wayne Gretzky card and a huge Gordie Howe card in this week's auction. Huge. I'm so excited for this next Fanatics Collect weekly. So again, check everything out. What?
You going to bid on it?
No, way out of like my range.
Oh, big, like a huge card.
Like you're like Phil's
awesome
level.
card.
No, not my level. I'm medium to high tier. I'm medium high tier. I'm not high.
Okay. Oh, and then Jeremy Lee and I will be back at it Sunday night starting 8:30 Central on his YouTube channel, Sports Cards Live, breaking down all the best, most interesting hockey cards ending in this week's Fanatics Collect auction, fanaticscollect.com. Mailbag. One short of less than our record. So another big week. We got a motor.
I thought we were capping these off.
We did.
One
less than last
One
week.
less. Okay, yeah, there we go.
Instagram, Okie Mama 2021. What do you think my Patrick Waugh Topps rookie card would sell for? I think I sent it. If I sent it in, it would get a grade of 10. It was taken straight from the pack and put in a glass container 40-something years ago. Last sale was $9,000 according to Sports Card Investor. Do you think it would sell for more? Is Waugh's market trending up? Please answer on your awesome podcast. Well, here's my recommendation. Is that we've all had experience where we think we have a lottery ticket in our hands, and I would take it to a card shop or two, people that know hockey, get some opinions on it. I don't want to crush your dreams, okay, Mama, at all. I'm praying for you that it's a PSA 10, but you need to know that there's only 10 total Patrick Waugh Topps rookie PSA 10s out of 2,500 that have ever been graded. And just pulling it straight from the pack, a lot of cards, even today, straight out of packs, are not in PSA 10 condition. So something you have to get your opinion on. But I would be very excited to go see what people that have knowledge think and get multiple opinions, and hopefully you just enjoy the card. But to be a 10 would be awesome. It's just I wouldn't count on it. Is that being too negative?
No, you should.
No, it's realistic.
Reality. Yeah, realistic, exactly. I would right away assume it's a 6 and just not get your hopes up at all, and they're going to grade your Topps card way harder than the OPG.
I've thought about this too. I think this would be the worst part about being a card shop owner. When people have that glee in their eyes, when they come in all excited, and 999 times out of 1,000, your job is to basically crush their dreams.
Well, I think OK Mama's already, he or she, like, just look at the way the question's framed. Do you think it could sell for more? So already assuming it's a 10. Is Roy's market trending up? It's already assuming it's a 10. So,
Yeah.
just really put the brakes on, please.
Yeah, I
Please.
would say too. I was a little. I don't know what glass container means, but my mind immediately jumped to
Screw?
screw down.
Yeah. Ooh.
And if that's the case, that's can be trouble because they get compressed in there if they put them in too tight, and then usually gets graded as altered or however you want to do it. But I really hope it is a PSA 10. But like Josh said, go get some opinions
Yeah.
from other people, show them what you got, and if it is a PSA 10, I'm super pumped. I hope you make lots of money on it.
Instagram, the J-Man629. I just got my first flop out of 100, and when comping it, I realized there's a out of 25 version and an out of 101. We all know that the Future Watch auto out of 999 is considered the true rookie. What's the true flop? I suppose it'd be the out of 100, wouldn't it?
Well, the out of 100's the patch auto, out of 99's just the auto, out of 999's just the auto, and out of the 25.
Well, what he's saying though, Phil, is that because the out of 999 Future Watch auto is considered the true rookie.
Oh, I'm sorry, not the patch. Yeah. I would
but-
say the Future Watch auto, out of 999's the first.
I still don't think you're getting it. So he's saying that there's, even though that the Future Watch auto patch has two parallels, there's an out of 25 and out of 101, out of 101.
Yes.
Would the out of 100 still be considered the true flop rookie?
Oh, yes. Yeah, out of the 25's the retro usually. Yeah, I'm sorry. 3 times
Yeah.
I got it.
I would say yes, but I've never even really thought about it.
Take 80, Phil.
Yeah.
Let's break this down even more for you.
The out of 25s are usually nicer cards, though. Like, I like my
Yeah,
Brady
they're nice.
out of 25 way nicer, but I paid like half price.
How many of those do you have? Like,
2.
I have 28. The 25.
You got them all plus extras.
7 years.
Instagram, Ryan Berkeley, kind of new to the hobby. How does Upper Deck choose what sets get exquisite?
I'd like to know too. Ryan
Well,
Berkeley.
So I think exquisite's in Black Diamond, Ice, and the Cup. I think those are the 3 sets. As to why they chose those, I have no idea. Troy, you have something to add?
No idea why or the rhyme or reason, but I did see a Reddit comment from 2021. Now take that, this Reddit comment. They said, and here they said the first part of the product, which is memorabilia number cards, releases in Black Diamond. Second part is usually in Ice, which is rookie autos. Then the auto patches come in the Cup last. I'm not sure if that's true. I didn't go research it. Kind of sounds nice, but it is Black Diamond, Ice, in the Cup. I know that for sure.
Not exactly true because
Yeah.
the retro RPAs are in Ice.
There you go. And this was an old comment, so just
Yeah.
it's maybe I wanted it to be true. It's not.
And of course, it's worth mentioning the reason why it can't be its own set, even though it is technically a stronger brand than the Cup, is that the Upper Deck's agreement with the NHL is that the Cup will be the premier hockey set each year.
Yep.
Instagram, Full Metal Arborist. Kind of a great, you're in the arborist kind of, what a cool name, huh, Phil?
It's great. I'm going to steal it. Yeah.
Do you think there would be a market for custom card creation? There's so much creativity in the world. It's crazy to think we let a super small group of individuals design products for the masses with little input from the masses. Would love to see a market open up for custom cards. I know licensing would be a big issue. To me, that is the issue, right? Is that these custom card designers are amazing, but they kind of fly under the radar because I would have to think every one of their creations violates some sort of copyright law. And so if it got too big, then the IP holders are going to notice and stop it. So NHL would have to do specific deals. And we've seen, like, I think sort of the compromise that we've seen here is like Topps especially has for a long time has done deals with artists like we saw with Project 100 and stuff like that to kind of have them create custom cards that are legal and licensed. And then I feel like Billy just hired somebody, Luke the Cardist, for something upcoming, didn't he?
Yeah, there was some stuff they were doing with that.
Oh, that was in Extended, wasn't it?
Sounds right. I don't know.
What do you think of this, Troy?
Well, I was saying there definitely is a card market or a custom market. Go on eBay, search. You will find custom cards all over the place. And Josh is 100% right. Licensing is the big deal. I believe every one of these cards that has NHL licenses that are custom cards are probably not supposed to. They probably fly under some radar, or they're not supposed to be sold. It is what it is. I love some of them. Some of them are awesome and they look so cool. So if you're buying it, I say go ham and buy all you want. But if you're a seller, just watch it, because I look at every other industry like video games, and where Nintendo will just come and crush any like fan made project because you're dealing with their IP and you didn't get permission. Plus, these companies are incentivized to come after you, because if they don't protect their copyright, they can lose it. There's some obscure
Yeah.
loophole in copyright law that they have to,
IP is intellectual property. Is that what you're saying?
yeah.
Okay.
I'm not a lawyer. Not a lawyer. Don't. So, but
You just play one on TV,
Just
and we'll
play
get to
one
that in a
on
minute
TV.
with you.
Okay.
Discord, 2-cent hockey cards. He has 2 questions. He says, let's talk about sets, baby. I get it.
Is that the old
You get it.
song?
Yeah, the
Color Me Bad.
No.
Salt and pepper. Salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He says, as collectors, we love putting sets together, but the secondary market for sets seems pretty weak. Is it that we love the thrill of finishing the set, so buying a complete set feels like cheating? Why is it that when you're usually better off selling the good singles out of a set instead of selling the entire set? I'm sure it's down to the fact that you're far more likely to find someone who's looking for an 84 OBG Yzerman rookie than someone trying to buy the complete set. I think you kind of answered your own
Yeah,
question.
it's
2
dead
cents is
on.
that everything I've ever been told is that it's the joy of collecting the set and the chase and finding it, but then once you go to sell, you're so much better off piecing it out. Is it? What do you think, Phil? Is that what you've been?
Oh, I know. Yeah, it's a waste of money building a set yourself, but it's so fun. Yeah, it's one of the main things I like to do. But yeah, I don't sell them after. Like I bought a 7980 OPG base set without a Gretzky. Well, I got a few Gretzkys, so I just slopped one in, and now I got the full set.
Yeah. But even like the Legends cards for Parker's Champions, if you ever needed to sell them, instead of like selling like them as like an 80 card lot,
Yeah,
you would
piece 'em
make
out.
more money selling them individually.
Piece it out. Yeah,
Yeah.
big time.
So you agree with all that, Troy?
Yep, 100%.
Okay. He says, related question. Do you know of any services that will consign sets? It does not appear, though, services like DC Sports consign sets. I have some sets I'd like to unload, but don't have much of a history on eBay as a seller with lots of feedback. I'm afraid sales would suffer. Any advice? By the way, most of these sets fall into the $20 to $50 range. A few would likely fetch $100 to $200. I would just reach out to a bunch of consigners and ask their opinion. This is above my level of expertise when it comes to selling and consigning. Do you guys have any other recommendations that you would give people? Maybe
don't sell them. Don't, unless you're in a pinch, man. Don't drop your pants there for the first couple of prices, right? You put a lot of time and effort in this. If things are tough, maybe try and sell something else, but don't take the first few numbers thrown at you.
Or maybe like Marketplace be a better to try for sets.
Like
I don't know.
Facebook.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So I'm gonna show you. I thought I saw something. They sponsor our show, Slab Sharks does, but there actually is a set in this week's Slab Shark auction.
Yeah, but he said they're like 50 to 100. You know what I mean? He'd get like I don't know. Maybe he could make a deal.
Yeah, I get it. The dollar amount might be prohibitive with the fees to try to do it. So,
I don't think it'd be worth it.
Sorry, wish we had a better answer for you. Okay, Discord Cigar Scott, has UD Upper Deck ever confirmed why they change pack box configurations on products such as SPX? Is going from a 4-card individually wrapped to a single pack of 5 like Stature a cost savings move, or did they do it just to make product more attractive to breakers by removing the need to unwrap each individual card? Then he says tinfoil hat off. What we've been told about this issue, not about SPX in particular, but the issue in general, is that it's a cost-cutting move, not necessarily, I guess, to make more profits. They get a budget, what they can spend on every product, and they're spending a lot on foil and packing. And the idea was, well, instead of having 4 packs with 1 card in each pack, let's make 1 pack and spend more of that budget on the cards themselves. That's kind of what they've told us, right, Troy?
Yep.
Yeah, which makes sense to me.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's obviously there might be other reasons that we don't know about, but
Sure. Discord 86 collects. The Spring Toronto Expo will be the first time ever I'm attending any type of trade night. What should I expect? Do I bring just low-end cards, high-end? Do I bring 5 binders and slabs? Am I walking around with stuff, or do we set up? So what I don't think any of us are huge trade night guys. Bobby?
I was gonna say, hang out with me in the hallway because I get a panic attack.
This is Bobby. He's just asking questions to ask questions. He doesn't.
And he changes his name every 6
What?
minutes. So.
He thinks we don't know it's him. Anyways,
well, here's what I've observed is that some people, like, it's usually like a ballroom that has tables. Some people will park at a table and spread all their stuff and set it out like it's a booth at a trade show. Other people have their backpacks and walk around. What I would suggest is bring the stuff that you're willing to move and the good stuff, right? Because typically you trade good cards for good cards if you want to get good cards in return. But I would want to be mobile. I wouldn't want to just have so much stuff that I spread it, can't move from my table.
Or you can be like our boy Seth, who is I'm in awe of every time.
Pack mule.
We call him Pack Mule, but he will have so many cards. He has 2 backpacks, but it doesn't phase him one bit. And he will go to your
10
table.
hours.
Yeah, for hours. And he's like, oh, I got a card. Knows exactly where that card is in the 2 backpacks. He will find it immediately. Seth's awesome. I love it.
He has more, so he's got the baby now. I see him at the Ottawa show every Sunday. He's got the baby, and his wife comes, so he has more people to carry stuff for him. Yeah, he puts things underneath that stroller.
Well, you got to say hi to him for us when you see him.
Yeah.
I do. I always do, and he always says hi back. I just forget to tell you.
Okay. Next one, Discord, Sebastian Engelhardt. He says my LCS has unlimited amount of 1990 Pro set for $15 a box.
Road trip.
I was thinking about buying cases to do a hologram hunt, but I was watching openings on YouTube and someone opened a pack that had a Paul Gillis without the bloody nose, and they said it's a bad sign for the hologram. Did they not put holograms in the second printings that remove the bloody nose? ? He's copying Phil, so maybe you can get this is a Phil question. So we're
gonna like urban legends now.
Well, I'll respond, but I was up a little late last night and I responded to Sebastian in the Discord mailbag room. I didn't know he was asking the show, so Sebastian's happy. He thanked me, so I'll answer to as best to my knowledge for the rest of the listeners. I was told that there was 3 print runs. The cup was threaded into the first 2, more heavily into the first. The problem with that is, evenly spread out in the first and second print run. So no hologram card in the 3rd Pro set.
And this is all Series 1 we're talking about.
All Series 1, not Series 2. I do not care what you read on YouTube or what your uncle told you. It is not in Series 2. It has the flames, the black case. It's not in Series 2. There are other holograms in Series 2, but they're very common, and it's not the Stanley Cup holo. So back to Series 1. The difference of quality between the first print run and the second print run is quite different. You get upside down cards. If you open a pack of the cards and the cards are mismatched, upside down, flipped around, that's usually the first print run, and you're going to probably find a Paul Gillies in there. The second run does not have the Paul Gillies bloody nose, but it still has Stanley Cup holograms in it. And this is from my experience, you can still get the packs. So some packs you get 30 cards, some packs you get like 12. So they're still nonsense. The third print run is very, very obvious. It's very obvious. Here's a box from the third print run. It's crisp. It's clean. It's even the plastic on it's almost thicker. The first, it's almost, you can almost guarantee the plastic's a little ripped off and hanging like dog ears. And
is that the only indication though? Is the third got like a code or anything?
Well, and there's less errors. So the Bork is errored in all 3 print runs, if that's even true, but that's what I've heard. And I've purchased cases where I feel like they've been from 1, 2, and 3, you know? So there's error cards all throughout. The first, you're going to get more error cards in the first print run than you are normal cards. It's literally like it was just mixed together really quick and thrown out there.
To Troy's point, though, is there like a serial number on the box that you can tell if it's print run?
Not that I'm aware of.
1, 2, or 3. Okay.
Not that I'm aware of. No.
That was still way more detailed than anything we've ever explained.
Okay.
Show. So good job, Bill.
Yeah, I'm a martyr.
Contributor.
And I still don't have my Stanley Cup holo. And I don't want to buy it. Everyone's sending me links like, oh, here's one for $1,100. I actually don't like the card at all. I just want to hit it.
That's As only you would do, Phil. As only you would do.
Yeah, I'd probably sell it right after, to be honest.
Discord, KMM. Does CT scanning thing impact cases as well as boxes and packs? If not, is our only recourse here to save up our hard-earned moolah and buy cases from reputable vendors? Are they going to be reputable? I believe it will work for cases. That one company that was advertising did have a cases on their price list. Ultimately, this is not going away. I think the industry has to come together on this one and find a solution that will make us collectors feel comfortable buying wax. That's what has to happen.
If not, I want that company to show up at one of these big sports card expos. Show up at Toronto and put your booth as close to upper deck as you can where you're selling scanning, and just
don't be mad at them. Be mad at the people using them.
I know. I want that company. I want them to show up and be
okay. I thought you wanted to yell at them
about it. Here, do something about it.
I think we already know the people who'd be lining up. I'd have a pretty good idea already.
All right, Instagram, it's freaking Polly. If we went back to the days where there were only like 3 to 4 sets released each year, what 3 sets would you want to keep? And he says the cup is not an option. So I'll start it first. I like this question. Good job, Polly.
I love this question.
I'm keeping Flagship, and it'll likely be a mega series at that point, and then Premier and Platinum.
Can I go?
Yeah.
I think mine hits all 3. I want Flagship mega release like you. I want Stature. And then I want SP Signature Edition Legends. So I get my Legend set, I get the base Flagship product, and I get my high-end set that I like.
What would you keep, though?
Flagship, OPG Platinum, Parker's Champions.
Ooh. Wow. So there's your Legend. Yeah.
Josh, did you say Premier?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Tell me he's wrong.
No, he's not wrong. Your opinions can't be wrong.
Do it, Bill.
You did everything.
No, I'm only yelling at you, Troy. I can't yell at Josh.
I've never once had Troy say, "This is what happens." Troy says, "Oh, I picked up this, Titabo Tergeron," and you're like, "Oh, whoa, Troy, that's amazing! Oh, well, love it." And I'm like, I'm so excited. I got this card. I've been wanting it for 10 years. I saved up money. I sold up my liver, and I bought this card. And Phil goes, "Oh, you like that? Really?"
Feels like,
"Oh wow." I mean, I'm not saying that it's.
I like the Beret Essential Credentials. What are you talking about? Why? You didn't jump up and down. I liked it. I thought it was good. We just have we're anti-collectors. We're the. Don't worry, I'll recover. All right.
Kindred hobby. Are eBay consigners ruining the hobby long term? Why are folks selling their cards with them? This is actually, this thought has never crossed my mind.
Exactly. Right? Great question, because I've never thought of it either. And I'm like, well, let's think. You did most of the thinking. But
yeah, so we'll get all of our opinions on this one, because I am interested to hear what you guys think. But before I answer it, of course, we have to mention one of our big sponsors, Slab Sharks. They are a consigner. So, being transparent there. Thought a long time about this. And I was really trying to think, well, how an eBay consigner would possibly be a negative overall in the hobby. And I honestly, I can't think of a reason. So Kindred, number one, message us back and kind of give us a little more context, like maybe why you think they might be, because I'm really interested to hear your opinion. And as far as like individual consigners, I'm sure there's good ones and bad ones. But again, I think he's asking like the overall, is this a positive or negative for the hobby? And I think it's a positive. And here's why. As a seller, you're giving up a little bit of the percentage of your sale to them on lower end. Sometimes on higher end, they take less than actually eBay's cut. So there's that too. But in the case that you're paying more, you're trading convenience, as in the consignor does the work, right? You go and you drop it off at Slab Sharks or someone else, and it's done at that point. And also with the right consignor, like Slab Sharks, like their auctions are pretty big, and they promote them, and they get a lot of, sometimes you get more people that see your cards as well. And I think as a buyer, there's almost even more advantages, because when cards are consigned, right? Believe me, to someone like Slab Sharks or any of the other consigners, that feedback system is critical to them. They do anything and everything to ensure you get a 5-star rating, because the minute that their ratings suffer, it's really damaging to their business. So they're going to be much more likely to ship it out right away and handle any issues. A lot of times they have just better infrastructure, so the listings are more complete. They take better photos. So I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty pro consigner in general,
Yeah,
but what do you guys think? Can you think of any reasons
I
why
can.
it would be a negative?
I
Okay.
can. We've heard people before say they've had dishonest co-signers that might switch their card out if you send in a
Oh,
nicer one and they have a crappier one. We've heard stuff like that
I've
happening.
heard that
That
about like graders too, or people
yes,
that do.
that yes. So that to me
Oh,
is one negative, but man, that's where you just have to do your research and who do you trust. And boy, that's a big risk by a co-signer to go that far. But
yeah.
hey, this hobby, we've seen it. Anyway, any industry, you see it. You can make money some way, somehow, dishonestly. Some people try to find it and use it. So that's one thing I can think of. But besides that, I mean, it's
That can't be.
options. It's a market. It gives you flexibility. So I would love to hear if he had specific reasons besides the one I just said. Like,
And with all due respect too, I don't mean this as it's like when he says like ruining the. I don't know how a consigners would ruin the hobby. I mean
I was
that's
just
like
gonna say that.
destroying.
I don't get the question. Like,
Yeah.
what's ruining the hobby? I don't. Maybe Kindred Hobby can follow
yeah, I
up
hope
with
he writes
that.
back in and lets us
Yeah.
know because maybe it removes the person as a I don't know. I'm trying to think like maybe it's a step removing you from the hobby. I don't know. Maybe it's something like that.
Or they make it harder for as an individual seller
Hmm.
to. I don't know. What about? Are
No,
you
maybe.
pro consigner, anti
Yeah,
consigner?
I'm pro consigner. I don't want to do if I was a seller. I mean, I don't. If I have one or two cards to sell on eBay a month, I'll just do it myself. But
Yeah,
I am not good at all. It's a bit of an art, right? Like, why
yeah,
anyone can trim a tree with a small tree, but call me, I'm more professional, right? So
yeah.
I would think they would do the same thing.
Mhm. Instagram Tapper30. Any Carolina Hurricanes love? Jarvis, Netchus, Aho, Svechnikov. I just don't see really
I
big
just
hobby
figured, no,
superstars there.
I don't want to be mean, but
Yeah, I mean,
listen, I'm a
Jarvis.
wild guy. I know nothing
Yeah,
about Carolina, so
Jarvis is kind of interesting, but
yeah,
it's so. I think we forget at times that top tier of hobby stars is so few, and you have to be so ridiculously good to get to the Jack Hughes level in this hobby that not many players really ever get there.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, listen, we've had one superstar ever, Kaprizov. I
Yeah.
mean, in our for our team, no player hobby wise has ever been close. Phil, is anyone on the Hurricanes that gets you excited?
No, I mean, I was hoping Ottawa signed Necas there, but he re-signed with them, so that's it. Svechnikov's Brady's rookie year, but I think we all know how that's going.
Well, one of my unforgettable moments on this show, it wasn't even really on the show. It was one of the very first pack opening videos we ever did. What was it? It was SP Authentic, right, Troy? We pulled
probably, yep.
a Jacob Slavin flop, and you and I were like, "Oh, really?" And I know he's a good player. We got, people were like, there were so many people like, "Oh, I would love to have that Slavin card," and we are just like, I don't know why I brought that up, but uh, never forget that. Instagram Nolan Finley recently got a base Young Gun card in person signed. Best way to get it authenticated. Well, I would think send it into grading is, but I don't know if you, and then maybe JSA is probably the most reputable autograph authenticator outside of getting your like. I don't know what the goal is here. If just to keep the car raw but get it authenticated. But usually you have to like attach the authentication to the card somehow, so you almost need to get it graded. And then the other thing I mentioned about JSA is I just saw that I don't know if this is new or not because I don't pay a ton of attention to CGC, but all CGC autograph cards are authenticated through JSA. What do you guys think?
I think you should be very careful sending your cards to get authenticated if you got them hard autoed, because do a quick eBay search of
Yeah, see if it's worth it.
it's
See if it's worth it.
yeah, just see if it's worth it, because that seems to be a new thing really ramping up. Not new, but it's just coming back again every few years. And like there's a lot of guys. I live right beside the barn at the Senators, and there's a lot of local guys that get the cards signed, and they put them up at $1,000. There's a Jake Sanderson right now. There's a Jake Sanderson Black Diamond patch A guy waited outside the arena here at the end of the season. He bought the card off eBay. You know what? I'm going to do a video on it on my channel. He bought the card for $30 off eBay. He has it at $1,200.
Yeah.
$1,200.
Wow.
Yeah, no, he's insane.
And to
and
me,
that I would love to meet these people. I would love
Yeah.
to meet. Who you trying? What greed do you need to get 1,000% back? Something wrong with you. Anyway, sorry, Nolan Finley. Just any greater, but I would listen to Josh's advice because the PSA authenticating on the autographs isn't going to bring you the same return as a grade from PSA.
Yeah, and I just on-card autos that are not like pack pulled, I'm always feared they're all fake. I just think they're all fake. That's where my head goes.
Mhm.
And
I'm with you, Troy.
and I'm probably right on 50% of them because there's
80.
To me, it's the easiest thing someone can fake in this hobby. Is that a dumb statement? Is that
No,
outlandish?
absolutely
Like,
not.
autograph
I'm
to
with
me
you.
is the easiest thing. If you like watch it and look at it and get really good at it, it seems like you can just fake it. And
Well, look at the autograph. Look at Jeremy Swayman's autograph these days. You can
where
do
it's
that
like
one pretty easy.
scribble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But that's
Facebook.
why you get it authenticated. Sorry. That's
Yeah. No, sorry. Facebook, Jackie Verow. Is there info on the release date of 2022-23 premiere? Could it be released after the Cup? This is a great question. I hadn't thought of this, but okay, I'm
Have
going
a
to run through
follow-up after this.
Okay, I'm going to run through the timeline on this. So we have the dates, the release dates for Upper Deck through September 5th, and that'll be ice. Then the presumed release date of the Cup is September 18th. So there's like 1 week essentially in between, adjusting for Labor Day here in the US, where a set could release. I don't think so. Let's assume for a minute the Cup releases on September 18th. It could be pushed, but let's say it does. I don't think they're going to release Premiere 1 week and the Cup the next week. That makes little to no sense to me. So I think either the Cup gets pushed past September 18th, and then even 2 weeks is kind of weird with Premiere, but all right. Or we have the scenario, which I don't know how often it's happened, that Jackie is pointing out here, that you could have the Cup come out before Premiere. Because it kind of looks like that right now. Now, does it mean anything? I don't know. It probably hurts Premiere, I would think. No? Yes?
I would think it hurts the Cup.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think, Troy?
Cup should be
Well,
last.
I just have a follow-up question. Is there any info on the release date of 23-24 stature? Could it be released after the Cup?
Well,
Sorry, Jackie. Troy's hijacked your question to stature. He's panicking now.
Because
remember, we emailed them last week and they said they're still working on it.
Okay.
Nothing about it.
Yeah, we'll have to see. But good point there, though, by Jackie. Facebook, Andrew Shee. This is a really good question. I hadn't thought about this angle on the CT scanning thing. What do you think might be the actual impact on CT scanning within the hockey card hobby? We realistically have one product that might be high value enough. Older sets like 1516 or 0506 are sealed wax collectors done. So the part of the angle I hadn't thought about that this question brought to light for me is a lot of my mental bandwidth, which as we know is really tiny, has been spent on like, well, how do they protect boxes going forward? How do you go back and build if you have a case of 0506 the Cup, how do you demonstrate that has not been scanned at this point?
You can't. You sell it as fast as possible, or you open it with your buddies and get a case of beer.
Yeah.
It's changed the game, man. I could talk about this for 10 hours. It's completely changed everything. Like, you're gonna buy I'm so excited for a rip party at Chateau Gongshow. I've changed my browsing tool. Like, I'm not buying a Fleer box, like an old Fleer box. I'm not buying one. Absolutely no way.
Buy a Fleer Ultra pack or buy a case on ePack.
You're a big 08 Topps Chrome. Do you see yourself buying more of those?
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, see, but I wouldn't go buy a case of it. I see. Okay. I don't know. See, now it's changed everything. I'm looking at 6 boxes right now. No, I agree with you, Josh. There isn't a difference. You just pull the big case out of pull the good box out of the case and sell the rest of the cases or boxes loosely, right?
I might be naive, but I'm not too worried at this point because I think while the opportunity is there, I think the likelihood that like a lot of these like Fleer hockey products that they've been CT scanned at this point is low, but maybe I'm an idiot and being too naive. I don't know. What do you think, Troy? You think it's going to irreparably damage older wax at this point?
Not yet. I'd have to
Okay.
see evidence of it, but
Well, you know what? For us though, hockey, like let's say you have a box of 7980 O-Peachy. I mean, you can. Oh, there's 3 Gretzky's in here. Yeah, well, if they're pack pulled, then
Those
I hope
are
I get a 7.
Those are safe, Phil, as far as what I understand, because the
they're not
CT
in box.
scanner has to pick up some sort of like
raised
like
or
raised or
elevation?
foil or something. And
Yeah.
so just
Embossment.
paper cards with ink on them, it can't tell the difference.
Okay. So it can tell. Yeah, you're right. Oh,
like
you're right.
Fleer, it could because those are like right.
So it
those
can't
are
tell a
foil.
Jordan rookie.
Yeah,
You
foil.
can't tell a Michael Jordan rookie. In
Not out of
86
86 Fleer, no.
No,
But you
I-
could
okay.
definitely tell like a PMG out of Skybox because of all the foiling.
Yeah.
Wait. So with that PMG 101, it could find that,
Yeah, because of the foiling. It's more textured.
but it's
than,
flat. It's a flat card.
I think it's a little bit textured.
Really?
Actually. Yeah.
Okay.
That's at least what I understand.
Well, we'll all be experts pretty soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, Facebook. Sean Jodry. Why did nobody do anything about Upper Deck's 2023-24 Series 1 Population 1 cards? You scared to talk about this?
Yes, cowards.
Troy, are you scared to talk about it?
Cowards.
You-
You're all cowards. No,
Phil,
I
are you
always talked
scared?
about it.
Listen, I'm with Sean. I really wanted the break. I think, I'm a little apprehensive right now, but I think Upper Deck swung and missed. Like, where's a PR department that really, and I don't mean a fake one like eBay, like, hi, we're one of you and we want the authentication program. Like, you are not one of us, lady. Don't even pretend. I mean, a guy from the industry, an influencer, whatever you want to call them, like a group of 2 or 3 guys that work for Upper Deck that like have a very hands-on Twitter account and YouTube channel that says, oh my God, guys, we kind of screwed up about the one-on-ones. Well, we just spoke to the president of operations and this is what he had to say. They addressed it.
It would be better
addressed
coming
it.
from Upper Deck's main account, but I'm not disagreeing with the sentiment or what you're communicating. Yeah, own it, publicize it, and then make it right. Is Troy and I have been advocating to them for them to do that for a long time. And to Sean, just to let you know directly, giving you the benefit of the doubt here, we have 2-3 hour shows a week. We've talked about this a lot
To death.
Yeah.
And so I'll fill you in what we know, right? For 2023-24 Series 1 Popcom 1 cards, there's at least 2 that were produced and packed out. We unanimously as a show have stated it stinks. It's a bad look for Upper Deck, and it kind of kills a card that had a lot of momentum. It was a big hit, a new card for them, and so that's kind of a big bummer. I don't remember the exact terms, but we do know Upper Deck did reach out to or did communicate with people that reached out to them, and they offered some sort of exchange. I think, what was it, Troy? It was like a number of hobby boxes. I think, like,
let's just say
for-
it could have been better compared to what Fanatics would do and just throw stupid money to fix their mistakes. Now that's Fanatics and they have stupid money, but I mean, I think there was a better way to handle it, but they did do something, but maybe it wasn't the greatest way, but
I don't want money thrown at it. Just more like a smarter throwing money, a whole chunk of money at something is okay, it's exciting, it's fun, but it's kind of lazy. I'm talking someone who has their finger on the pulse of the front lines of a true disappointed person who got a 101 card and it's like, and they go online to show everybody and I'm not a 101 card. Someone who knows that feeling, it feels like crap. That's what I want.
Yeah, I agree with you, Phil, but I think 99% of the people would take the money.
All right, well, either way. Then throw the money at it. Whatever solves. Yeah, Josh, you said it best. It had so much momentum. I really was excited to go for that card, man.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what, Sean, you're expecting beyond that. I think that's what we know about the situation. And so hopefully we answered your question. Discord, JT Hockey, this is a great one too. He said, I'd love to hear your perspective on the BGS 9 speckled rainbow foil Bedard Young Guns first sale for $4,900 US. The last couple PSA 10 sales have been around 800 at roughly a 50% gem rate. You'd make more selling 7.5 PSA 10s not even counting the money from the 7.5 RAWs or PSA 9s. Does it make any sense to make a silver speckled card on ePack if you're not looking for a PC card? So hopefully that's kind of understandable the way that I put it, but he's basically saying is that the math doesn't really work out because you have to combine 15 Bedard Young Guns to get a Speckle Rainbow. And as we know, doing that does not guarantee a gem mint card. Like in the case of the first one that sold, it graded a BGS 9, probably graded right from ComC. Or I guess I'm assuming that. And so why would you do that? I think it's a great observation. It's one sale though. Sometimes what we've noticed with first sales is that they go like really ridiculously high or actually sometimes low too before ultimately concluding that it's a bad idea to combine 15 Bedard Young Guns into a Speckle Rainbow. I'd want to see maybe a couple more sales come through, maybe a first PSA 10, and then see what the upside is there. What do you guys think?
Yeah, agreed.
I do not understand the whole people that buy cases upon cases and combine cards but to make a profit, it just doesn't in my mind equate. I'm sure there's a way to do it and make money, but wow.
I don't think they're doing it to make money from.
Are
So
they just
I'm
doing it to
slowly.
do it?
Well, they kind of. If you got a fat wallet, you can just plow through the
Yeah.
clicks. Bam, 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 bam. Yeah, speckled. Yeah, I don't think a lot of the big boys on ePack are doing it to make money. I think some people are doing it to make money, but they're much more strategic and they're not blowing the bank. So I'm slowly learning there's ways to do the achievements in a much smarter way.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Dave Preston, would you consider putting together a poll on all your social media platforms asking your listeners, watchers who they PC? 100% would consider doing it. Not sure exactly like what you would want us to do with that info. Maybe message us, Dave, and let us know kind of how you think we could use that. Troy, maybe you have an assumption about that?
I just assumed he wanted to know who people in our community PC and collect. That's all I think he wants to.
We kind of do that with our sales rankings every month, which is probably an easier way of doing that.
Yeah, but that's everyone. That's not our community.
Yeah, I think he's trying like how many Bedard
active our community actively engaging with that polls, or I don't know if maybe it has to be a write-in poll. You'd have probably way too many options.
Yeah.
Or it's just a post where people put in the comments.
All right, we'll think about how to do that.
Summarize it.
Instagram, Hockey Cards Up. How many points does Bedard have to get to see his Young Guns prices rise over last year?
4.
So I'm gonna think that in it's still a second year, the hype is gonna still outweigh the on ice performance. But so in my mind, he just has to be adequate. I'm gonna go with like 75 points. How does that sound to you guys?
I think he'll need more. Yeah, I think he'll need more. There's gonna be a knock on him, so to say.
Okay. Yeah, Radek Morning gets injured. He gets injured right away.
Yeah, he probably will. I think he needs 80 plus. 80, like he needs to be like 88. Finish this season with 88 points, and people will be like, he's still the hype, or we'll see.
Baba Louie, you wrote an answer here. What do you think?
I did. Yeah, I just think as the leader of the team, the points aren't going to hold as much weight as one might think for the hobby. Now, with his talent, he obviously needs and should put up more than 70 points. Not to be a flop, but he'll continue being a playmaker and bring excitement to the team and the NHL itself, keeping his card values up. People are still going to chase it.
Good answer, Louis.
Thank you.
That.
Remember, 19. He's 19 years old.
True.
Right.
Oh, yeah, Troy, did we get your opinion?
I just say he's 19. I said 4 points. I don't have a good answer. I think I do buy that there'll still be some built-in hype just from who he is. And again, realistically, he's 19. It doesn't bother me if he doesn't get 75 points. I think he's got a lot of grow. I'm more concerned about his size, and I think he's going to be injured a lot in his career.
Instagram, Henkio. Does nationality affect a player's hobby value? With both Borje Salming and Peter Forsberg are very undervalued in my opinion. Both great players, and Salming was a long-time Toronto player, and still, I think Henkio's from Sweden. So, that may be kind of a little bit where his question's coming from too. I just said I think to agree it does, and particularly it's Canadian-born players will see more of a hobby focus because the huge popularity of the hockey hobby in Canada. And so for all us non-Canadians, it's like table scraps. You guys agree or disagree with that?
Yep. If you're Canadian, it's better.
Yeah, it is. And plus, I mean, the ones where I see like the opposite effect is sometimes Russian players just don't. Some people just don't like Russians. We'll just say that.
Mhm. Okay. Instagram, Chinner's Cards. I'm curious as to what your thoughts are on the state of the hobby when it comes to memorabilia cards. Will there be a premium placed on older singles that state game use materials versus a trend towards player worn photo shoot memorabilia? I think manufacturers tend to use special event from jerseys sponsored in real games would make sense, as I know it's getting more expensive for manufacturers to acquire these items as opposed to real games. All-Star Game Stadium Series events, I think the hobby would find acceptable as long as the card states on the back of that card in print like where it came from. Another note, I love your guys' podcast. Recently discovered it. Hopefully I can say hi to the crew at a future expo. Well, thank you for the kind words. Really appreciate that. We've talked a lot, Chinners. I think the more provenance on memorabilia cards moving forward, the greater value they would have. Like we talked about the debut patch, the idea of that. And yeah, anything game used, if it mentions a specific game, it makes it off the charts awesome, in my opinion.
I am all for blowing up the whole photo shoot stuff and get rid of it. But if you do that, then you're gonna have to delay. Products are gonna come out a lot later than they already do.
Phil, you have an opinion?
Nah, no opinion.
Phil's hungry, so he just wants to.
That's private information.
I'm hungry. I'm starving. Okay, we just got a few more, Phil. We're almost done. Instagram, Julio Knobs. I think this is a really important question. Or it's not a question. It's an observation. This is not a hobby question. However, Troy, did you know you look like the actor Holt McCallany from the Netflix show Mindhunter?
You do, yeah, he kind of does.
I see the resemblance.
No, that's not what I was thinking.
Well, Troy's in way better shape, Phil. So,
oh yes, absolutely, yeah.
I
Troy,
can kind of see it on the face. I can kind of see it now. It's a lot better. A lot of times when I was younger, people told me I looked like Rodney Dangerfield because my eyes are very big. Okay, I know this, people. I have prominent eyes. No, I don't have a thyroid disease. I get asked that all the time by doctors, and I'll get stopped by random people on the street, like nurses and medical people, to say, "Hey, have you ever got your thyroid checked?" Yes, I have. But I have very prominent eyes, kind of like Rodney Dangerfield, so I got that one a lot. But I'll take this guy any day over him.
That is hilarious. You probably shouldn't have said that, Troy. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with that now. And
Well,
he's coaching in Ladybugs.
you had to have been relieved though, because I know that the feeling, right, when you see a question like this, you're like, oh God, is this guy like some sort of hippopotamus that I'm gonna like throw myself off my balcony or something like that after I say it's like, oh, he's like ripped and handsome. Great. Love it.
I'll take it. Thank you.
It's a win. It's a win. Instagram, Bolts on Ice. What would you like to see Upper Deck do in the 2024-25 set releases to keep the Bedard hobby momentum going? It's a good question, but the more you learn about how they produce sets, all the 2024-25 sets are done.
Yeah.
So there's really nothing they can do card-wise or checklist-wise. I think the biggest thing they could do to keep hobby momentum going is make sure the prices are lower. So to adjust for the fact that there are not Bedard rookies in the sets. Do you guys have any other ideas or?
Well, the NHL is just going to keep marketing them, and that'll just.
Yeah, I think this is more on the NHL than Upper Deck. I mean, Upper Deck will put a ton of his cards in, obviously, but I think you can only put so many before it's just like, all right, that's enough. Like, stop.
That's enough.
So I think this is more on the NHL.
Instagram, Taylor A. Wood. What do you think is a good number for copies of a card before it becomes irrelevant? Is it out of 4.99, out of 99, out of 10? What I would say, Taylor, is it completely depends on the player and the significance of the card in the hobby. A Future Watch Auto out of 9.99 is an incredibly relevant card. There's a million out of 10 cards that are totally irrelevant.
Yeah.
It just comes down to, again, that junk variety era and understanding what the best cards are. And Louis says, like, Pintos.
That doesn't even make sense.
He just wanted to.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
How does making fun of Shane Pinto have anything to do with this question? Ridiculous.
Loopy.
Ridiculous.
Facebook, Ulrich Horn. He said, I like McDavid's Sign of the Times rookie more than Future Watch Auto. Not only are they SP to 99, but they're beautifully color matched with his orange oil drop in team colors. Now the question, why are they not so popular and sought after like the Future Watch Auto? He says, sorry for my English and best from Germany. Well, first of all,
Better English than us.
you listen to us talk. I think that there's lots of cases like you're talking about in the hobby, and it's kind of what makes collecting these cards a beautiful mystery. The Future Watch Auto is seen as the truest or biggest or best or most sought after rookie auto card. So it's not that it doesn't get as affected by having out of 999 copies. And in these cases, I always try to look at like the glass half full side of it, where, hey, if you like the Sign of the Times better, that's awesome. It's just going to be cheaper then. And you get to get a card you like more for less. And that's a win to me. You guys have anything to add, Phil?
No, I think your answer was great. If you like the card the most, buy it. Yeah. But I'm just trying to think of that Sign of the Times card. I'm not.
I love Sign of the Times. I agree with this guy.
Oh, yeah?
100%. Sign of the Times are awesome.
Oh, it's kind of like a sunset feel to it, I believe, the one he's talking about.
Yeah, I like sunsets.
Oh, romantic. Discord, Top Shelf Cookie Sniper. He says, with Fanatics Collect trying to take the eBay market share, what are some things you hope Fanatics will improve on their platform that maybe eBay is lacking or doing poorly? Also, he wants to know, is there a favorite band?
I've never been on the Fanatics app. I'm intimidated by it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
From what I understand, what they're trying to do is that I think Fanatics is going to differentiate from eBay by more creating that holistic collecting experience where the idea is you can join a break on Fanatics Live. The breaker can take the card and have it graded and then go right into Fanatics Collect. And then you can list the card or sell it then, more so than being like the volume auction house that eBay is.
Yeah. Fanatics.
Go ahead, Troy.
I was going to say one thing about whole eBay thing where Fanatec is doing better is that holistic view, like with the breaks and stuff. eBay's trying to do the live stuff with the breaks and stuff. It's terrible. It's horrible. They have to separate it from the main eBay app because it's just garbage right now. So there are spots where Fanatics is actually winning on that kind of stuff.
Did Louis quit the show?
He's gone.
What happened to Louis?
I yelled at him. He left.
Got mad. Okay, hold on. We got bands.
Oh, he says, yeah, what's your favorite band, right? That was the second part of it. Sorry. I'll go first. The Beatles are my favorite, and then Green Day second. Troy, your favorite band?
Oasis.
Yeah, do that.
I'm flip-floppy. Alice in Chains.
Nice. Oh, I love them.
Yeah.
Their Unplugged album is one of the best albums of all time.
All time.
I will give a little. I'm already anticipating the hate mail I'll get. Oasis, not the radio stuff. Don't listen to the radio stuff. Go listen to the other stuff.
Troy, you're always my champagne supernova.
Okay, Instagram. We have two more. Channel Mass. Channel Mass?
Channel Mass? It's
Channel.
Chowder?
Yeah. Channel.
I'm primarily a hockey card collector. However, we are in the dog days of summer, and I took a little side project to collect the top 10 1987 Topps baseball cards for my PC. Have you fellows ever done something similar? And if so, what was it? Well, this is a Troy question, if I've ever heard one. So
I do have a small PC of baseball, like I've said, but I don't really, I don't do something like top 10s or anything. It's just players like Twins players, Buxton, Kent Herbeck. But I also have other little side projects, little dabble, and I do some comic book stuff. Like I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so I do some stuff in there. I actually this isn't something I'm gonna do, but at the concert I got some really cool posters of the bands that were playing. So I thought that was interesting. I'm not gonna start collecting concert posters, but if you do, there can be some crazy money in those if you have like original stuff. But yeah,
where are you gonna put them up, Troy?
I have a lot of wall space in my office.
Oh, Mrs. Iverson lets you have you can decorate the room how you please.
Oh yeah, she'll be fine with it. As long as her big thing is like when I start getting tape measures out and wires like I agree, wires drive everyone nuts, but I'm more of the guy that I just want to get it done. So I'm the dude that will run the 100-foot internet or Ethernet cable through the house and care that it's not going through the vents or the walls. Just be like, and she'll just like want to wring my neck.
Call a professional, Troy. Get him to fish it through the walls, buddy.
Do you have any side collections, Bill?
Not much longer, so we'll just say that.
Well, my biggest set is 1987 Topps. I'm a huge 1987 Topps baseball guy. Yeah, so I love this question.
That's the wood ones, right? The wood.
Yeah, the wood ones. Yeah,
cool.
I love them. And no, that's pretty much it. Yeah, my Expos, my baseball. I'd love to get an MMA, but I'm not there yet. So that's about it.
I got wrestling cards. I like wrestling.
Yeah.
You like everything. All right. Instagram, Dak Mac Fan Cards. Through a full season of flagship releases, what do you think about the new Outburst Parallels? To me, they increase the desirability of the high gloss and exclusive.
Is this the right thing? Is that what I'm supposed to do?
Yeah.
Aww. Love.
They've been a huge success, in my opinion.
Yes.
Ditto.
Louis, you quit the show? Did Phil offend you?
What happened, Louis?
I don't know. Everything just went boosh, gone. So
sounds about right for us.
Yeah.
Glad to have you back. All right, personal pickups time.
Right in the middle.
That's my favorite thing to do is just like shock him, like, oh, I'm on here.
Oh,
here's mine.
Sorry, I just put Phil's first. Mine was nothing. Here's
Phil's. What you're looking at is a Cup, our 2018-19 Cup RPA Rookie Patch Auto 3-color. A couple of nice breaks there of Brady Kachuk. And friend of the show, Money Moose, is holding the card. It looks like her. It actually looks like her. Yeah, she's a Sens fan.
We've learned you play with Barbies.
Hey, listen, I got a great deal on that Barbie.
Okay. All right. Well, right back from the internet abyss is Baba Louie. He has a couple personal pickups. So what do you got, Louis?
I do. This is all thanks to Troy because he was bidding on a card and didn't get it, and I'd never heard of these Pacific Titanium cards before. So went online and found a couple and grabbed one. This one is the 2001 Pacific Titanium Private Stock Mike Modano premiere date out of 185. I think that was the silver. Yep. And this one's a 2001 private stock Modano out of 299, the red.
Nice looking.
I thought they were pretty sweet looking cards.
Good looking guy for sure.
Yeah. Oh, Phil likes your cards too. Imagine that.
Yeah, I like them. Pacific Titanium's great.
Yeah. If I would have bought these cards, you'd be like,
but you wouldn't have. But you didn't.
Ouch. That hurts. I didn't buy a card. I bought another top loader binder. I don't know if you guys saw this yesterday, but somebody posted a sweet deal through Amazon Prime in our Discord where I got one for same one Louis uses for $20. So jumped all over that.
The X Pro one?
No, it's a different one. I think.
I don't know what the name of it is.
Me and Phil are X Pro for life.
Is it the Rich Rarity? The Rich Rarity is not very good.
Yeah, there's a lot of them now, man. A lot of brand competition there. Well, if you like the episode, please leave a rating review on Apple, Spotify, whatever podcast app you listen to us on. If you love the show, you want to support us, you want to chat with us on the Hockey Cards Gongshow Discord server, please consider a $5 a month donation. Join our $1.99 support level tier on Patreon. The link is in the show description on YouTube and in podcast apps and our Instagram, TikTok profile. You go to our website, hockeycardsgongshow.com, and click on the Become a Patron link, or go to the Patreon website, patreon.com, and search for Hockey Cards Gongshow. We are on social media. Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. And boys, the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast is a production of Dollarbox Ventures, LLC. If you're a Patreon member, hurry up, head to Discord, check your email, because the episode 214 after party starts now.